Steven, this isn't good. Nothing's working. It's like 150 degrees inside this head. All these props are garbage.
You know what E.T. was made out of?
What?
E.T. was made out of brown Play-Doh and chicken wire.
I did not know that, Steven, and I'm thrilled for your success.
Thank you.
But I just don't think the audience is ever really going to believe I'm a bee.
All right. Hold on, guys. Okay. So, greetings, fellow Amblin aficionados. Tiki here.
And BlueDragnFive.
And Santa Claus.
And Jacob Wile.
And I just opened a document. I just accidentally opened something on my desktop that I can't get out of, so give me a second. Okay. I know, we are cursed. Spielberg Month is cursed. It's like the shark.
It's like Poltergeist.
No, it's exactly like the shark. Okay. The shark's cooler. And this month, we're taking the time to celebrate one of the great filmmakers who, as great as he is, neglects to do audio commentary on his work. Tisk, tisk, tisk. So, we pick up the slack, because we love the guy so much. And we're talking over 5 films from the man who put the S in SKG and signs the Animaniacs paychecks. Director extraordinaire. Man, shut up. Director extraordinaire Steven Spielberg. In Spielberg Month on the Main Street Cinema, the show where we discuss the finer points of filmmaking. God damn it. Okay, you know what? I don't know. I'm incoherent, guys. I'm sorry. So Movie Machine Podcast at hotchocolatemedia.net. I don't want to screw it up any further than that, but just go there because it's awesome. Right, BlueDragnFive?
I can vouch for that. It's awesome.
Movie Machine Podcast, hotchocolatemedia.net. Just getting that out there. Awesome podcast. All right, how are you gentlemen tonight?
Doing well.
Okay.
Did they pay you to say that, Tiki?
No.
No, I'm just helping out a friend. Just helping out a good
friend. Yeah,
we're
real friendly with them. They're nice guys.
Okay.
Okay, so let's just go roundtable really quick. I guess I will go first. Guys, I have a lot of experience with this movie, but when I first saw it, I really didn't like it. At all. When I first saw it, it creeped me the hell out. I thought it was off-putting. I didn't like the kid actor who played Elliot. I thought his voice was annoying. This was when I was about 9 or 10 years old, so I don't know why, because he was around the same age I was at the time. But I don't know. It's just the whole thing was off-putting to me. I thought that the whole storyline with E.T. dying was just very creepy and very sad, and of course that's meant to be effective. But the first time I saw this movie, really put off by it. Second time I saw that movie was back in 2002 when they did the infamous re-release with the walkie-talkies being replaced, the guns being replaced with the walkie-talkies and all that. Reason why I latch into this movie on that time period, 20th anniversary, they're doing a lot of retrospectives. They're doing a lot of documentaries on TV. Spielberg's talking a lot about the movie. We're getting a lot of making-of footage about the movie. We're getting, like Drew Barrymore 20 years later, stuff like that. So all of a sudden, there's like a peak in E.T. interest, and I'm kind of in it. And I checked the film out as, I want to say I was like 11, 12 years old at the time. So it was like, just a few years after I saw it the first time when it off-put me. And I liked it a lot. So fast forward to junior year of high school, my filmmaking teacher uses this as an example of the 3-act structure. He basically uses this as the blueprint for the 3-act structure. You guys know the 3-act structure?
Please tell us.
Okay,
beginning, middle, end.
Okay, so just using E.T. as an example, this is the 3-act structure of filmmaking for film scripts in general. So, Act 1, establishing the conflict and establishing the goal. In E.T., the conflict is that they've got the alien, they have to hide the alien, they know that the government is coming, and the goal is to get E.T. home, and that is the end of the first act, establishing the E.T. phone home goal. Act 2, trying to achieve the goal, ending in a low of lows. Sound familiar?
Yeah.
E.T. second act, all about trying to get E.T. to go home, ends with a low of lows of E.T. literally dying. Act 3 is the climax, which basically is everything after E.T. gets brought back to life, the whole bike chase and everything, and then E.T. being brought home. So that it's a very simple, 3-act structure. E.T. is one of the examples that I think fits closer to the 3-act structure than a lot of other movies do, we talked about the 3 act structure a little bit with Jaws, because we went into with Jaws how Act 3 is very long with Jaws, whereas this movie, Act 3 is very short because it's basically only like the bike ride. You know, it takes about 20 minutes or so after everything. So I just use that as just kind of a reference point for the 3 act structure. I have a lot of respect for this movie, just as, I don't know, for some reason the alien is still a little off-putting to me. I don't find him like as lovable as other people do, but I do find the emotions in this movie to be genuinely real, genuinely heartfelt. I don't find the kid who plays Elliot to be as annoying as an adult than I did as a kid.
Henry Thomas.
Yes.
I don't know why. I don't know why as an adult I find him more tolerable than I did as a kid. I have no idea why. So I'm sorry, you guys. I'm just kind of boring you with film school stuff. Dragon?
Well, oddly enough, Tiki, I'm in a very similar boat you are. As a kid, this movie put me off. It's so funny that this film, I think, connects more with... oddly enough, it was really marketed as a kid's movie, Spielberg's movie directly at kids, like the closest thing he said he would ever make to a Disney movie. And I'm not saying he directly said that. I'm just saying essentially everyone assumed it was like, oh, it's Spielberg making a Disney movie. Making kind of a super thing tailored towards kids.
If we're ever gonna do a retrospective on Spielberg's producing, we can talk about that with stuff like The Land Before Time. But we'll get there.
And of course, Roger Rabbit too.
Of course.
But you know what I mean. Point is,
as a BFG, which is kind of what this is all building up to, ironically enough.
In many ways, yes. But let's see, what was I? Point is, I'm in a very similar boat, Tiki, in that as a kid, oddly enough, or I guess it was marketed for kids to have this the experience that I think we all had in the grand scheme when we were in our adulthoods. We had a lot more respect and reverence for this movie. But as a kid, though,
I was watching this movie earlier today, and it was like the most emotional I had ever gotten over it. It was like it hit me more as an adult than it ever did as a kid or a teenager.
So, I mean, I was terrified of this movie as a kid.
It's not just a child's movie; it's a movie about childhood as well.
Yeah, I mean,
it's very realistic kids, and I think that's kind of definitely a mark we can make for Spielberg. Now, unfortunately, I have to say Jurassic Park will probably make a mark against Spielberg for portraying kids in a realistic fashion, but we'll cross that road when we get there. All right, I'm sorry, Dragon. Anything else?
Yeah, so again, as a kid, I was terrified of this movie. Again, the E.T.'s design put me off a lot, and I'll admit, I think I realized something with Henry Thomas. And I'm going to mention some things about Henry Thomas. In the later years, he's become an interesting guy. But Henry Thomas, as a kid, I'll admit, I think out of context, he doesn't work. Like if you just watch random clips of Elliot, even to this day, it doesn't play well. But I'm sorry, yeah, out of context it doesn't work, but in context when you're watching the movie, I think it works a lot better.
Mm-hmm.
With the emotions and everything you're saying. And again, the kid acting is something you just rewatch this movie today. Again, it's been a long time since I've really watched the movie again because it kind of traumatized me a little bit. As a kid, I basically it had been many years since I watched it all through its entirety, aside from clips here and there. They'll come on TV or little retrospectives about Spielberg or whatnot. And again, the making of this movie, like you, again, very very fascinating making of. And again, like the little things that went into making it. Kind of in a similar vein of why I had so much fondness and love for Jaws, but not as strongly though. But the point is, watching it
wasn't as an intense film shoot as Jaws was by any stretch.
And the biggest thing to mention here is that my biggest thing in relation to E.T. was or these two things. It was the Freakazoid episode that parodied E.T. and just there were many Amblin jokes.
Oh God.
That was my as a kid. That was my real big positive experience with E.T. Oh my God, this alien story. They're parodying something, and like the E.T. sequel in Freakazoid was hysterical.
Mm-hmm.
But there was that, and of course, I had a very positive experience with the ride. Though again, I had more positive experience with the ride than the movie, because again, initially off-put by E.T. But again, the emotions I think they were trying to communicate to me in the movie that I was a little off-put by E.T. to experience, I experienced in the ride though, because again, the atmosphere, you're literally in the midst of it. So I mean. All that kind of factored in the making of, and years later today, watching it all the way through. I mean, this movie is brilliant on many levels, and the kid acting has a very strong element as well.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So all that's just I have a lot more enjoyment of it in my adult years, and this movie has made a huge impact on Spielberg's career.
Okay, Jacob.
Well, I'm kind of an odd one out here. I've only ever seen this movie once.
Okay.
Mainly because for a reason similar to you, when I was younger I saw a bunch of previews for it, but I never really thought, I'm not gonna like that. And then I never really got into it until I realized that it was Steven Spielberg directing it, and it was years before I even got into Spielberg movies.
Mm.
I think the first Spielberg movie I ever saw was Jurassic Park.
As was mine.
But years later, I actually did see E.T. I think I actually saw it after I rode the ride at Universal,
Okay.
which was a pretty cool ride, actually. How E.T. says your name at the end of the ride.
Yeah, that blew my mind as a kid when he did that.
I was like, "How do you know my name?"
It's like the moment from Jingle All the Way. He knows my name.
All right, but continuing on from there, I watched this like when I was like in my teens. It's been several years since I watched this movie, but a lot of it still actually resonates with me. Like almost everything in this movie is nearly flawless. Like the acting, the emotions, the musical score, the scene, the shots, everything in this movie is borderline perfect. I mean, and it's been years since I remembered, and I didn't. And even watching it again, I probably appreciate it more than I did back when I first watched it.
All right.
But I do have an interesting bit of trivia.
Here's your trivia.
Due to the fact of all the child actors, this is actually one of the few films to actually be shot nearly in chronological order.
Yes.
Oh, that's interesting.
And the reason for that, Jacob,
It's because to get a convincing acting out of the young cast.
which was a brilliant move on Spielberg's part, which you can see in the movie. These kids, they're basically, for the most part, they thought E.T. was real. I mean, they knew he was operated by people,
so the idea was to form an attachment with E.T.
Absolutely, which worked, and the men, when the moment at the end of Act 2 happens, they really feel, and that's why you're getting such an accurate and realistic performance from those kids, Tiki.
Yeah, because the film it's one of the few films actually filmed in the mostly in its chronological order.
And he didn't want to weird him out by kind of starting like, okay, so you're going to say goodbye to E.T. on the first day, then you're going to form an attachment over a period of time following that.
Okay.
Well, that's my bit of trivia on that.
Nice.
Absolutely.
Sandy.
Well, I really don't have much to say. I mean, I don't even know when my love for this film really began. That is a mystery even to me. I've just always known that this whole movie has always been just so magically, wonderfully disturbing and creepy. Like,
I guess that's a running thing with us.
yeah. I mean, it's a running thing with a movie. I mean, with the original cut, I mean, it's not. Some of the creepy factors are taken out with the re-release.
All the guns have been replaced by walkie-talkies. Oh yeah.
There's definitely more to this movie than meets the eye.
Mm.
Yeah.
This movie on its surface is basically like a simple boy and his dog story.
I suppose.
But it subverts a lot of that, obviously, just because of the sci-fi nature of it. So that's what Spielberg does a lot. I think he bends genres a lot. Like, for example, I think when we get to Jurassic Park is going to be kind of a blend of the horror genre and the adventure genre.
Yes.
And Sandy needs to continue his thing.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Sandy. Go ahead.
Just that still image of Elliot riding his bike with E.T. in the front over the moon is just so creepy to me.
It's
always
creepy to you. Okay.
And he jumped over the moon.
No, it's just such a bizarre concept, and it's just so weird. I don't know, but one thing that I've just loved forever is the score. The music on this film is probably one of my favorite soundtracks ever.
As I mentioned earlier.
And will continue to be.
We talked about how Williams was kind of a little bit modest with the Jaws soundtrack outside the iconic, like, bump, 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 bump. But this is Williams at full force. This is Williams being like, okay, let's see just how much emotion we can quell out of you at any given moment.
Giacchino, take notes.
Oh, God.
I think years in the past. What I mean by years in the past, he's like make a little note here.
You mean Michael Giacchino?
Yeah, Michael Giacchino. I hear Giacchino. I hear the name.
I think it's Giacchino.
Yeah, I used to say Giacchino, but now I think it's Giacchino.
Really, because I've heard documentaries with the people, and I've always heard of Giacchino.
Yeah, and John Williams pulls everything off with the score flawlessly.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. All right, guys. All right, so Dragon, you have some quick background before we get into it?
I guess I'll just stop now then.
Oh, no, do you have anything else? I'm sorry.
Well, I didn't, but you just kind of cut me off there.
My bad, Sandy. I thought. kind of trailed off. All of us kind of trailed off because that's what's happening on Spielberg Month apparently. So I'm sorry, Dragon. Do you have any behind the scenes?
Sandy, anything else, Sandy?
No, well, I don't. No, I don't.
Okay.
So making of. So, folks, just to boil down, kind of this movie has a really interesting story behind it. It's like one little tidbit that kind of connects to a bunch of stuff. I'll get through relatively quick. So, this is a really personal film for Spielberg. You can tell. Like, I remember Dawson's Creek. There's a kid in that, the main kid in that show. He loved Steven Spielberg. If I'm remembering, I didn't really watch in English class. They played the first episode, the pilot episode, and they established that one of the characters on that show they loved Spielberg, and there's always stuck with me that Spielberg put something personal about his life in each of his movies. That was the theory that guy was running with, and I thought, oh, that's kind of interesting. When you look at the Spielberg movies, that's kind of accurate, and this movie definitely attests to that. That is a really personal film for Spielberg because really, it's at its core, it's about Spielberg from 1960 dealing with his parents' divorce as a kid, and as a kid, he kind of imagined, I don't know if it was directly an alien or not, but he mentioned kind of an imaginary, kind of mythical friend, very alien-like, to kind of fill the male role model void. You know, like kind of the brother he never had, the father figure that left because the father's the one that left in that divorce.
Mm-hmm.
And eventually the origin of the film, the point is that idea is ruminating in the back of Spielberg's mind. So the origin of this movie is very interesting, is that after Close Encounters, which is also a very important film, you don't get E.T. without Close Encounters. After Close Encounters, they wanted him to make a sequel. He was it was a really successful movie. He says, "Come on, Spielberg, why don't you? Come on, Steven, why don't you make a sequel?" And this is interesting, connecting to our previous commentary. He wanted to avoid a Jaws situation with the sequels because he wasn't involved with those, and I guess he wasn't crazy about the Jaws sequels being made.
Well, I wonder why.
Again, too has some moments, but you're right. If Spielberg says cut it off, I wouldn't pursue it any further. But
He doesn't want to get back involved with all the difficulties.
Sure, he's probably got PTSD after shooting Jaws, understandably.
He basically says in interviews that he still has PTSD from Jaws.
Yeah, but now, however, I do love like one of the 30th anniversary thing. He says does have a grudging respect for the shark itself, though.
Plus with movies like that, where like Tim Burton said with that Nightmare when they wanted him to make a sequel for that, it just ruins the magic of it, I guess. I mean, yeah.
Well, I've always wanted to see the Easter before Thanksgiving, personally. But that's just me.
Anyway, so point is, he wanted to avoid a Jaws sequels thing. So I mean, he considered doing a follow-up. He pitched them a follow-up called Night Skies. Now, actually, this film did not actually get made. Night Skies never got made. But what it did do is, and it's famous for, is that Night Skies incidentally created E.T. and Poltergeist.
Mm-hmm.
And Night Skies was based on actual reports of a family being terrorized by, like one of the alien attacks of like, oh, we're being invaded by aliens. It was reports of a family being terrorized by aliens on a farm, and they're terrorized, basically a farm being terrorized by gremlin-like aliens. Like 11 gremlin-like aliens, then scaled down to 5 when he was making the movie. So as the project developed, while he was shooting Raiders in the meantime, while that project was like on the side being developed, writing the script and all that stuff, he was shooting Raiders one day in Tunisia. Where his buddy George Lucas has been before.
Of course.
But he's in Tunisia shooting Raiders of the Lost Ark. He kind of takes a break from all the action and adventure, which it's good, getting the blood pumping. He's just taking a moment to kind of contemplate kind of his Close Encounters feelings. Just thinking of, I got the story, this real passion project of a story, kind of following Close Encounters. It's in the back of my mind. He's actually something connects to Jurassic Park. Oddly enough, he's walking with Melissa Matheson, who was Harrison Ford's first wife and the writer of E.T. They're walking around. He's picking up a seashell fossils, or like kind of prehistoric seashells in Tunisia, which again, dinosaurs are on the brain. Jurassic Park, perhaps.
Maybe.
Well, he made that joke. I just thought it was funny to point that. Maybe on some level, subconsciously, Jurassic Park was in his future. Well, he did the same.
The book wasn't written until like a year before the movie was made.
I'm saying even with the Jaws thing, with the whole dual dinosaur sound, I'm saying dinosaurs are on his brain at this point. It's continuing, regardless. So he's walking with Melissa Matheson as they're kind of picking up she cells. They're talking over the script. He just kind of pitches the script to her, and it's about this script for Night Skies. And she loved, out of all the aliens, there was this one friendly alien called Buddy. And Buddy was an alien that befriended one of the kids in the movie, and she was in tears over like how beautiful all the stuff that he was pitching around Buddy was, and that eventually led to E.T. and me. So Spielberg kind of realized The Night Skies conflicted with his kind of optimistic kids movie view of an alien story, which would really hit big with the writer. So this led to he had already been developing that movie with Rick Baker, by the way. You know, Rick Baker, monster creature maker extraordinaire. He developed 5 of these aliens and many animatronics. From what I hear, was like $700,000 invested.
Oh God.
Spielberg has to tell him, no, we're not doing that at all. And let's just say Rick Baker, they hashed it out, but it turned like a respectful, like, you know, shaking hands, parting ways. But they weren't happy with each other for a while, which led to Carlo Rambaldi developing the ET creature we all know and love today, but not as kids. Sid Sheinberg.
No, not as kids. Not as kids.
Not as kids.
Speak for yourselves. I've always loved E.T.
Oh, sorry, Sam. I forgot about that.
I never watched it really as a kid, so I didn't really have any adverse to it or not.
So Sid Sheinberg once again saved the day because it was in the Spielberg had a falling out with Universal for a bit over George Lucas paying the rights to Empire, so he basically Spielberg kind of took Indiana Jones to Paramount instead of Universal. But Sid Sheinberg being his pal at Universal, he took it off his hands and put E.T. in Universal's hands. And again, it's Boy and His Alien Story. Really. Also influenced in terms of making the movie by the ending of Close Encounters, where Spielberg just wanted you to feel the attachment of the alien going into the ship over Richard Dreyfuss going in the ship.
Okay.
And that was the main influence, and that started a journey that began to make a very influential film, and that's all she wrote.
All right, fair enough. So I guess now we shall get into the actual commentary. So guys, what you want to do if you're watching along and you want to actually sync up with commentary, you want to get to the point into the E.T. movie very early on, just right past the Universal Studios
logo.
The
1982 version, to be specific.
Of course, yeah, we're not doing the one. We're doing the no walkie-talkies involved. Well, there might be some walkie-talkies, but
I mean, they're walkie-talkies, but not, they're no replaced.
Imagine we're on Netflix.
Right. Okay, so what you want to do, get right past the Universal logo, get to where the E.T. letters fully fade in, right before the extraterrestrial starts to fade in. We'll do our level...
Does anybody else notice how it kind of looks like crayon?
It
Yes.
does a little bit.
I thought it always looked like chalk.
Well, it's like chalk or crayon. It's like really close to crayon or faraway chalk.
Theme. Okay, so we'll do our level best to make this like a good discussion and not necessarily commentary, but if you want to watch along, we'll do our level best to make it a good commentary too. Alright, you ready, guys?
Yeah.
Alright, so like I said, just have it synced to where we have it at ET, where the ET letters fade in. Alright, I'm going to count up to 3 in 1, 2, 3, go! Alright.
I love the ambience in this opening.
Oh, yeah.
The extraterrestrial.
Yep.
E.T.'s the Wallace. Peter Coyote.
I think it's actually pronounced coyote.
Is it? I've always thought it was coyote.
No, it's
That's
Coyote.
Coyote. Okay. All right.
The Coyote.
Yeah, no, it's weird, isn't it?
John Williams.
Have you guys seen Drew Barrymore's daughter?
No.
No, I haven't.
He has a daughter?
Drew Barrymore has a daughter that looks exactly like Gertie.
No.
I gotta look
Oh my
this up
God.
right now.
It's creepy. Like it's very like it's. Not gonna lie, it's a little bit off-putting, just like many things in this movie, apparently. I mean, it's
Seriously,
adorable.
Gertie.
It's an adorable kid, but I'm just like, holy shit, it's Gertie.
Oh my gosh, you're right.
I told you. Okay,
I'm
can we
not
just get
gonna
past the Spielberg logo, guys? Are we all on the same page? Or
Then-
directed by Steven Spielberg, the credit?
Well, yeah, that's past, yeah.
I'm in space now.
Yeah, same here.
Space, the final frontier.
Wrong movie.
A long time ago in a galaxy far,
Other
far away.
Wrong movie, too.
Flash Gordon! Alright, I'm kidding.
You're close.
Flash!
Savior of the universe.
This music makes it seem like it's some kind of horror film or something.
I'm sorry. I'm not taking this seriously.
But actually, the ship is very Jules Verne influenced, actually.
Oh yeah. Sandy, you're absolutely right. In the opening, it is very ominous. It's not like you don't know at all if these creatures are good at not or good at not. You know, it's like you just like, what's going on?
Yeah, exactly.
And again, I tell you, rewatching this, Tiki, I can't help but think of the hilarious reason the aliens are stopped by in the Freakazoid version. This with
Oh,
Boron. It was that there was Earth was a rest stop on the way somewhere. So the aliens, like as they were fleeing, they dropped toilet paper on their way out. You know.
They're out in the woods taking a pee.
Yeah, but here actually there is a reason here. I do like this. You get a little hint of it here. I love that it kind of comes back in the ride too. That our aliens here. They're farmers and botanists. That's the idea here, and they're kind of collecting samples from the plant, which is why E.T. later in the movie he has the plant.
Yeah.
Exactly, and I think the plant is one of the biggest symbols of the movie. You see that plant everywhere.
And it's in these mushrooms and this thing. The interior of the spaceship here looks a lot like the ride. And yeah, I do like the ride. It did take a lot of. It tried its best to kind of follow the what was set up in the movie. It wasn't like anything really out of. You know, it didn't feel like too forced of what they were going for. It felt like, okay, it's natural progression. This is what the planet might look like. You know, again, they're all kind of plant-based.
Right, yeah.
That's the idea. E.T. was kind of designed to be literally kind of like a mud-based thing because he was very earthy. Like he works like a plant. That's the idea. Hence, like the photosynthesis and kind of the light thing.
And yet they have advanced technology too. I like how ambiguous the movie is with it.
Oh yeah. I believe it's like 5 here.
Oh, bunny. I used to have a bunny like that. She died though.
That's sad.
Yeah.
I just saw the bunny. I just got to the bunny.
Oh, bunny.
Okay, can I say one thing that's very off-putting about E.T. and that's always been off-putting about E.T.? His fingers. His fingers are damn creepy.
They are.
Yeah, they kind of are.
And just the way he walks, or waddles, I should say. Just.
I'll be with you forever. In here. In my heart, no in my heart, no in your arteries.
All right.
Funny thing about the species, though, they actually made a cameo in Star Wars Episode 1.
Yeah.
Yes. We're gonna get there.
I think it was Episode 2.
No, it was maybe it was Episode 2.
There's actually a cameo of a few Star Wars characters in this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I have
action
theories.
figures.
I have totally ridiculous, unprovable theories.
Yep, they're called. Yep, and the aliens, ET species are called Greblies.
Greblies. Is that what they're called in the ride? Do they have a name in the ride?
I know, but that's what they're called in the movie. That's what they're called in the movie, and it's Spielberg backwards.
I did not know that. Oh my god.
That's great.
Yep, they're Greblies.
Spielberg lights going
Can we
on
all
here.
agree that the government is the shark of this movie?
Yes, but I will say once the helmets come off, they do get a little more interesting. You know, it's like
I agree. Yeah.
They're kind of like the mayor from Jaws when they take the helmets off. You know, they're complex. I mean, I love this though. This is our main guy. This is our main government guy walking around right now. That's Keys. His credited name is Keys.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's Peter. Yeah, it's Peter Coyote.
Oh, Peter Coyote.
Yeah, so it's the guy from later on. Tig. It's Keys. That's his name.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. Yeah. Yeah, actually, rewatching this movie, I forgot how much character development he got once we have like all the government stuff is kind of stripped away.
Yeah, because so this was one of the big first alterations in the movie in the 2002 version. You got to see a CG ET kind of running away like a gorilla instead of kind of just...
Yes. Oh
Yeah.
my God, I remember that.
Here they just put him on a track and roll.
Yeah, here he's on a track. I think it looks good enough. I think Spielberg was overacting a little much on overreacting on this being bad. I mean, it holds up really well if you ask me.
Yeah.
This was during the special edition era. Both Lucas and Spielberg didn't really know what they were doing.
The difference was that Spielberg was smart enough to kind of like have both versions available for people.
Thank God for that. I'll always applaud him.
And you know what? Here's the thing, though. I think in certain spots, the CGET did not look bad. I want to make that clear. I think there were a lot of alterations that probably left.
I haven't seen CGET in so long, man. I'd have to go back and look at clips.
That's the thing. CGET, except for the running away shot, it looked pretty. They didn't like overdo him. He just like was able to express a little more, which I thought looked decent. Again, I'm not totally against CG E.T. It's just I think all the other alterations. Like you shouldn't see him running full body like he did in this version, which you saw him like look longingly at the ship instead of being that kind of that far away shot. Because it looks cooler to build the reveal for E.T. Keep him in dark lighting and keep him like this shot right here.
Yeah, exactly.
See, before it was like from behind and he was moving, and you saw the full body instead of kind of you get like memorable shots like that, you know. Also, you know me, I love some good flashlight shots.
Vince, can we kind of stack this up to a Spielberg trope, like the use of flashlights?
Yes, he loves flashlights and spotlights. He's a big
We'll
light.
see it in Jurassic Park. We'll definitely see it in Jurassic Park.
Yeah, I've always known that the practical effects of E.T. have always been that's one of the huge things that's always creeped me out. With the special effects and everything like that when they did E.T. in CG, he has more expression, like you said, but I think with this it just makes it a whole lot creepier where he really can't show much.
That's just a matte painting in the background, is it not?
I believe so.
It looks like a matte painting.
It could be wrong, but I think it is.
One thing I want to talk about with this movie, though, just one thing kind of overall, is how cool is it that they make a grand adventure out of, like, a suburb and a spot of forest?
Oh, yeah, that's great.
Like, it's not even, like, a big forest. It's like a little bit of woods outside of the suburbs.
I mean, what's so great about that is that it makes it more relatable to kids, and that it's like the biggest adventure is the one that's kind of in your backyard.
Absolutely, that's one of the things I've always related to with this movie.
I really like that they are kind of. I mean, some people might call this dated, but I do like Dungeons and Dragons was a big thing back then. It was cool back then. It wasn't like any of this period of time. Some people are very self-conscious about playing Dungeons and Dragons these days. But I mean, again, it kind of varies. Like there was a period of time where people were really self-conscious about letting that be known. Now I think it's back in vogue. But I mean, I like that. When it was big in the 80s.
Yeah, of course. I remember when I saw this for the first time, I got confused because I thought all of these people were all brothers, and I thought, like, oh my god, this is a really big family.
Actually, one of those kids, I don't know which one, but one of them is C. Thomas Howell, who's actually gone on to be a really good actor, and I know him best for he was the Reverse Flash in the Flashpoint animated movie, and
okay.
he was the father from Amazing Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Remember the kid that was rescued, Jack, and his father, the construction worker, helped him out later on. That's the guy. That's one of these kids at that table. That's obscure.
Call him the goddamn Cranes.
Yeah,
he's the Crane guy. I really love the mother in this movie.
That guy right there. So you can't see his face, but
one trying to goose her, or the one with the collar.
God.
Well, the one that's turned around that you can't see.
Right.
Yeah.
There's a surprising amount of product placement in this movie.
Yes, I got a story about.
Reese's Pieces.
Oh yeah, the story behind that.
They're originally going to be M&M's.
Oh yeah,
but they, much like us as kids, we were, except Sandy, they were put off by E.T.'s design. Said, "Oh, it's going to be scary. It's going to ruin our company." No. So they went with Reese's Pieces, and Reese's Pieces is still around to this day because of that.
Well, M&M's is still around without it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but I think M&M's were already like very, very well established without the E.T. brand.
I'm saying I don't think.
Whereas I think Reese's Pieces honestly gave E.T. a big push. Like I remember when E.T. came out in theaters, there was like a big push for them to sell Reese's Pieces in the lobby.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just saying, like Reese's Pieces, like it's just E.T. is like kind of tied to Reese's Pieces. It's like
it's immortal product
placement. It's kind of like an unofficial mascot of Reese's Pieces.
Yeah, you're right. Again, I think Reese's Pieces probably would have kind of fallen into obscurity, where M&M's would have always been around. But I mean,
that's what I'm saying.
Now because of this movie, it's always entwined. But like, oh my god, I gotta give me some Reese's Pieces after seeing E.T.
Yeah.
I always thought it was kind of violent. The kids went for the knives like that, you know?
Yeah, there's a few violent things with the kids in this movie. I got to admit.
I'm gonna be odd again. I really don't like Reese's Pieces.
That's fair. I don't like them either.
I like regular Reese's cups, but not Pieces.
But tell me though, is the gag that E.T. doesn't like him either, or is it that just he eats them but he also saves some?
I'm not sure.
Because he like collects the pieces. I don't know if it's like he's eating some or he just doesn't like it. It's kind of bizarre product placement in a way.
I think he's just trying to give it back.
Yeah,
Okay.
maybe.
Ooh, piece of candy.
Again, that's where we get the James Wood gag from. I always bugged me that drops the pizza. Why would you just bring the pizza with you? Run back in the house. How hard is that? Why are you putting the pizza down in the grass?
And they just leave the pizza too. They don't even try and salvage it.
Right?
That's what really bothers me. I'd be like, no, it's a perfectly good pizza. It might be smushed a little, but just you know.
Well, no, taking the moment it hits the ground, it's dead on impact. Come on.
I disagree. I disagree.
It's dead on impact.
I'd eat it.
I thank you, Jacob. Thank you.
I would not know.
I would eat it too.
Just because the cheese and the sauce is scattered around a little, come on.
It's not like the pizza itself touched the grass.
That's what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying.
Anyway.
And that's on pizza talk.
I love with the what's the mom's name in this movie again?
It's Mary in the movie. It's Mary. The actress is Dee Wallace.
She does such a good job at just making the mom seem like she's just losing her mind over what's happening.
Yeah, she was one of the. I guess she's one of the best actors in this movie. I really liked her. Also, yeah, with that, I mean, the whole reason we see the mother, Spielberg had this really excellent theory. Like until the end, until I guess the second act, when we kind of have our government guys unveiled and broad daylight. The idea is that he was actually going for like a Tex Avery thing, where you didn't see the tops of the adults, because you wanted to be a real kid-centric movie, and she was very kid-like because after going through a divorce, she felt in a vulnerable state,
Yeah.
And you'll know she does dress kind of kid-like at many points in the movie.
I'm sorry.
Sorry. Is it just me, or is this like a really good like horror movie setup? Like,
well, I was just gonna say, anyone think Shyamalan kind of took some inspiration from this in the cornfield scene from Signs?
Sure,
probably. I mean, this is really creepy.
Like, it's a flashlight, it's a cornfield, there's going to be a jump scare in a minute.
There is, and again, you had more fuel for why it traumatized me as a kid.
Yeah, I've got to admit, this is a legit jump scare right here.
Yeah, that's freaking creepy.
Oh, God. Just the slow pan in.
Oh, so Tiki, let me mention it now. Henry Thomas. You know what other famous character he's played?
What has he done, Dragon? What has he done?
He played Norman Bates.
He played Norman Bates in what?
In Psycho 4.
Oh, God.
Seriously, out of all the sequels, that was the best sequel, though.
Well, besides the original, I hope.
I said sequel, Tiki.
Oh, okay.
He was in The Sin Eater, too. It's not a big movie, but it's, something.
But, fun story about Henry Thomas, though. Henry Thomas, he basically was improvising during the audition, and he was so good. Again, it's like a rare thing happens in LA. He was so good because he improvised like kind of basically basically improvised keys, trying to talk him into telling where the alien is so he can take him away. And he gave such a. You watch the audition, he does give a good performance.
I remember. Yeah, I saw that audition. I think they played it during one of the many retrospectives they were doing around 2002.
Yeah, just told him you have the job, kid. I mean, that's just so awesome. Those hearing Spielberg said, "Kid, you got the job."
This is exactly what I'm talking about in terms of like you have the John Williams score playing. He's on the bike, and now he's. And it's just a kid scattering goddamn Reese's Pieces. The music makes it look fucking epic.
It's an adventure of mundane proportions.
Seriously.
Not to mention those trees are terrifying.
The trees are kind of, yeah.
Although we got this great thing where early on we
pretty sure this was all shot around the suburbs of Hollywood, if I'm remembering correctly. Can anyone confirm that?
No clue.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah,
I'll look it up because these streets look actually kind of familiar to the streets that Monkey lives on. I'm not saying it's I'm not saying it's the same street, but I'm saying just it looks familiar to like Southern California streets in general.
I will say this:
this is in California. I don't doubt that at all.
I will say this: I do love that Keys does have kind of like a Jaws motif, or the Keys jingle. That's how you know it's him. You ran into him just there.
Right.
Well, you observed him there.
No, I'm wondering why, if Elliot found him in his backyard, why he's going up into the woods. That's not really near his house. I mean, yeah, it's near his house, but it's.
Well, no, he followed the tracks.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, he followed the tracks.
I never got that.
Yeah, I never got anything.
Well, man, no. Oh wait, he followed the tracks to find him in the first place. I guess I assumed he just did that going all the way out there.
Okay, another thing from my filmmaking teacher, he used this scene and specifically the info about the dad moving to Mexico as like one of the best pieces of exposition he's ever seen in a movie.
Oh yeah.
I think I can agree with it, just because it's very much just exposition, and yet it tells you everything you need to know about the mother character, tells you everything you need to know about the family dynamic. It's just a really good kind of sit down scene, kind of breather.
I think Elliot has a really lame insult coming up, but I do love the scene.
What, penis trap?
Yeah, that is a lame. He couldn't come up with anything better. Really?
Well, they wanted to make.
I like how the mother's amused by it, though. It's like she's trying to scold him, but she can't help but laugh at it.
Yeah.
Is she? I don't think she's laughing. Is she? I think she's just like,
yeah,
come
she's
on,
chuckling a little bit. She's kind of just taken aback a little bit. I think
It's a mixed reaction.
I think it's a humanizing moment for me.
It is. Again, I do love the performances. I love all the performances of these kids. Even the older brother Michael. I do love.
Michael is honestly like my favorite character in this movie.
I get that. I love them all. That's the thing. I think I love. Gertie is
Michael
fantastic.
has the best arc in this movie. In all honesty,
Gertie holds up tremendously well.
Does.
She really
She
does.
does. You're right.
Barrymore did a great job. You know what gave Barrymore the job? It's hilarious. She went into the audition with Spielberg and she played like she just told him about her. She told him about herself, and she was like a punk rocker, and she was going around the world. She was 6 years old, bear in mind, but she was so creative and imaginative. That's why I picked her, and she was really great in this movie.
Started her career.
Yeah.
She comes from a long line of actors too.
Oh yeah.
She also comes from a long line of acting families, so that kind of helped her.
Oh yeah.
And Lionel Barrymore, her grandfather.
I love that Michael here is like sticking up for the mom. You know,
I agree. I totally agree. Yeah.
And I think you can see this, that the idea is all three of these kids are kind of, again, bear in mind, this whole family dynamic here is very based on Steven Spielberg's life, and that kid really, he kind of looks like a young Spielberg Bobby. I'm sorry, the actor's name's Bobby, but Michael.
Yeah.
I
can see young Spielberg in him. Yeah.
And also, especially because how they bully the little sister, how he kind of bullies his brother. Because Spielberg, he would torture his sisters on the weekends by throwing spiders and stuff on them. It was like,
no, Steven, come on.
Well, again, as a kid, brotherly torment.
Come on, kiddo. Why you gotta torture your little sister like that? I'm Drake Universe.
No, but they loved them.
I'm sorry.
They loved them. That was all. Again, it's pretty much like how Elliot and Gertie interact. Again, very, very close to them. Like, they get along like that, but at the same time, you're kind of the bully of the older brother. But I do love that he's not just like a clear-cut, stupid older brother.
That's why he's my favorite character in this movie.
Yeah.
Dragon, is that they very easily could have made him into that, but I think, like I said, I think he has the best arc in the movie because
he does.
He comes from a place of like skepticism, and by the end, dare I say, he's almost kind of like the Han Solo of the movie in a way.
He does kind of get he rallies the troops in a way that
That's what I'm saying. Right. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, he comes through at the last minute. Yeah.
Oh, by the way, so when we get shots like this with E.T., Spielberg desperately did not want to have a little person in a suit because, again, he was afraid it was going to look fake. But again, basically they kind of sold him on how convincing it looked by putting someone in a suit and actually put a little girl in a suit and had her walk around, and it sold them on it because, again, it was a necessity. You couldn't do it all with wires with the technology at the time. You had to have a little person in the suit for some shots.
Yeah.
But again, cleverly they build the mystique around, like having it in the dark with like lighting behind him. But again, they obscure him a lot. At least initially, so then later on when you see it, you get these really well-crafted shots.
It's a great build. It's like, I think we can chalk this up to another Spielberg trope, just like the shark of, kind of saving the creature. And he does the exact same thing with the T-Rex in Jurassic Park as well.
And again, I think that also is something that's cheapened in the 2002 version. You see too much of him early on.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the main problem with it. I don't know. I don't know why Spielberg. It's like, he has so much reverence for Jaws and how the shark doesn't appear much in Jaws. It's like he just wasn't thinking along the same lines when he made that decision. I don't know.
Well, the Jaws thing was also due to limitations.
Yeah.
Didn't have as many limitations with this movie.
Basically, it was more.
He learned from that, so I mean, I don't know how that would, it's a fair argument.
No, but what I'm saying is like, with Jaws, he always credits Jaws as like, yeah, if that shark worked, it wouldn't have been as good of a movie because we had to creatively work around it, and the creative workarounds, as we discussed, made Jaws the movie that it is. So I'm just saying, like, it doesn't really make much sense to me that Spielberg would kind of like intentionally like lose the build up to E.T. when he did the special edition.
Remember in Next Time Phone Ahead, that's the freakisode episode. It was like he had like a mystical sack of like never-ending hamburgers to bring him up the stairs.
Oh god! Oh god!
He lured Boron.
Yes,
Boron was the
yes.
he changed his name from Moron to Boron. Yeah, instead of piece of candy, like burgers.
Also, are we gonna get a cameo from Yule from Pee-wee's Big Holiday?
No, don't.
I love you, Pee-wee Herman.
Do you think just the harshness you have on Yule is based on your initial views of E.T.?
You know what? I think it has something to do with it. Yes, and I think that's kind of like the joke of Yule. I don't know.
I think that's why. I think rewatching Pee-wee's Big Holiday, I think you're gonna like him a little more. Just a little more. So again, we kind of have hints at the psychic link starting here. Like when he's about to get tired here, so's Elliot. So again, apparently that psychic link kind of starts immediately.
Sure.
And they're doing some of the hand things that are going to be very important later. Like
this is reminiscent of Jaws.
It is. You're right.
In that scene. Music in this scene is really powerful.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. I just got what you're saying. Yeah, you're right. It is very reminiscent to the scene from Jaws.
What scene in Jaws?
The whole
with his kid.
Brody's making faces with the kid.
Oh yeah.
Mimicking each other. So a lot of these shots, like there's an object in front of E.T. like a table, or just if E.T.'s off screen, so they brought a mime to put on E.T. gloves to do this sort of stuff.
Yeah.
In some shots, amazing stuff happens. Like just the littlest touches. These mimes are such excellent performers. They kind of give E.T. so much more humanity and personality.
Yeah, that or someone blocks the shot.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and Tiki, that's probably why you think it's so creepy, because it's so realistic.
I guess so.
And at least he doesn't cross into the uncanny valley.
What was that?
At least he doesn't cross into the uncanny valley.
No, he doesn't.
I don't think you really can do the uncanny valley if you're not a human. I don't think it really applies.
Well, you know what I mean. It's like where it's like he looks so real that it doesn't appear real at all.
And again, I still want to give credit where credit's due on the 2002 version. Again, they kind of push the expressions a slight bit. They didn't like make them fully CG. Only like very like long shots, I guess, and that's the only time they made them fully CG. But like up close, they actually made it look cool. I mean, cool. I mean, not this doesn't look cool. You know what I mean? I think they made it look
more flashlights.
Right. Da.
Again, there's keys. Keys with those keys, and it has like that theme. It's like these little. Spielberg is great. These little touches that just kind of say. It's like in The Godfather when you had Spielberg, Lucas, and Ford Coppola are all in the same school of thought. So maybe that's what the reoccurring things that you have a little something off going on in a scene. In Ford Coppola's case, in this case, you have with Spielberg's like a reoccurring theme, and Lucas, you have like a line or certain circumstances that keep repeating themselves. You have these thematic things that keep coming back in the movies. And this is something Spielberg used to do, oddly enough, and this sounds so cute. He actually did the lamp thing so he could edit at home when he was staying home sick.
Oh my god.
And his mother knew it, and the mother just let him edit. It's adorable. See, I mean, there is kind of a level here where later on you get a sense that she kind of, oh yeah, you got better. There's a chance she might kind of have caught it at the edge of her eye of him putting that lamp back. I don't know, it's up there, it might be. Again, she's a cool mom, I wouldn't put it past her.
Yeah, this is California, this is the license plate.
Oh, okay.
That's definitely a blue California license plate.
Mm-hmm.
That closet set piece is really good.
See, California.
Yep. Yes.
Also, you'll notice I could be wrong. You're just rewatching this now. I'm just kind of noticing this. The lampshade, not the lampshades. The blinders or the shades for the window. They're rainbow colored, kind of like the ending.
Yeah, I noticed the rainbow lampshades when I first saw the movie.
I mean, I kind of connected until
Uh-huh.
again, only seeing this is my 4th time seeing it, so give me some slack. It's like a mom you don't see and everything. She's not the stereotypical mom, you know. She's again, she's kind of like one of the kids in many respects. She's like the most responsible of the kids in a way.
If they would ever commit the cardinal sin of remaking E.T., Vera Farmiga should play her.
Yes.
Dude,
And you
that's
know who
all
should?
I'm saying.
And I'll tell you this. I'm not saying
pray
E.T.
to God that they do not make another ET.
I know, but if they
say this.
do, Vera Farmiga.
Here's the thing. I'm not saying they should never remake E.T., but if they do, because Hollywood
If they do.
And here's who should direct: Brad Bird. Brad
Okay.
Bird and Vera Farmiga.
Brad Bird's your choice for everything.
No, seriously, he'd be great for this. He did this in Iron Giant, essentially. Come on.
I know, but still, he's your choice for
Well,
business.
he's the choice for everything. It's
By
like-
the way, Guillermo del Toro, I saw fucking Crimson Peak. I didn't like it that much. So yeah.
Alright.
Sorry, Guillermo del Toro, if you're watching this.
And I'm just
You have
saying,
a random put down
of
Guillermo del Toro, Tiki.
What does that have to do? What does Crimson Peak have to do with anything anyway?
a Haunted Mansion movie. I don't know.
And how does that relate to this? Seriously.
It doesn't, Jacob. I'm sorry.
Alright, so we got this scene going on.
Coke. See, another part.
Shark reference, anyone?
Greedo.
Yeah, yes, I love the Star Wars Easter eggs here. And I love this too. This is a great little touch showing you it's in the 80s.
This is Greedo. This is Hammerhead. There's a lot of product placement in this movie. It's like, and he even just said this is Coke. We drink it.
Yeah, here's the little 80s nod to Star Wars here is that they're called by their toy card names, not the names they got later on when they kept re-releasing the toys, like Snaggletooth and Walrus Man. Walrus Man is Ponda Baba, you know, the guy with kind of the ball mouth from the scrotum mouth from Star Wars.
Oh yeah, the journalist reference.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm sorry, I kind of jumped the gun.
And I love it's like literally like the Jaws product placement too on the thing. It's like literally looks like one of the promotional items from Jaws he's using.
There's a lot of product placement in this movie, and nobody ever calls it out on it.
Well, it works so well. It doesn't feel forced.
It's just so beloved.
Yeah, and you kind of forgive a lot of product placement in the 80s, you know, because again, it was like
And I think this movie worked literally like all of its product placement into the actual plot.
because again, it makes it feel like a real place. I mean, that's kind of the realism.
Right.
Don't you hate in movies when they have to come up with movies or TV when they have to come up with fake products names like Cola instead of Coke? Or,
Yeah.
Well, they also have to pay royalty fees for using it.
Yeah. No.
Car.
Yeah, I kind of wish it was the royalties thing just kind of went in the way of like if you show it, it's fine, but if you say the name directly or make any reference to it, if it's a part of the stories, and then you have to pay your royalties. That'd be like in a dream world. But I know everyone wants to get their money. That's fair. Everyone should get their money.
Because it's all about money.
Well, they have to make money somehow.
Yeah. It's fair. It's just it'd be kind of a cool way.
I'm glad you appreciated that, Sandy.
What?
I said I'm glad you appreciated
There's
that.
a Tom and Jerry
Got to have
reference.
money.
We've got to have money.
And again, Tom and Jerry Tom and Jerry was an influence for like kind of the why we don't see the tops of the adults in the first act of this movie.
Oh yeah. Do Peanuts have anything to do with that at all?
No, it's
Sure.
all Tex Avery according to Spielberg, which again,
Okay.
he has a fondness for Tex Avery with Roger Rabbit, so
Oh, Wile E.
not that he
Coyote.
directed that, but I'm just saying it's maybe a little bit relative to that. I don't know.
He's just letting the milk run. I mean, the umbrella came out upstairs.
There's a
How
lot
is
of
it?
like, what are we gonna call it? Are we gonna call it food sins?
Remember their psychic sense. It scared
Well,
you.
I'm
Well,
just
no,
saying,
he dropped the
I'm saying leaving the pizza out, dropping the milk. It's like they're committing food fouls or something.
Oh.
There's got to be.
Now, how did he get in there?
I don't know.
He probably said it down before he got in.
They might have crawled from the other side getting in there. I don't know.
He could have
I
got
see.
in and then stacked the animals on top of himself. I think that's pretty viable.
Are you talking about Elliot or E.T.?
E.T.
E.T. with
Yeah,
the claws.
like how he got behind the stuffed animal. Well, you use his powers to kind of put it back. We don't.
Yeah,
we
there
don't-
you go. There you go.
And also, again, there was some deleted material here because Spielberg wanted to make the day longer, so you got to see like E.T. get in the bath or something, and like it was the two of them hanging out the rest of the day. They make it feel like they had more time together. But again, I think it just goes to show you there you get a lot of connection with the little you do see here.
So I think they make a really good decision to introduce Mike to E.T. very early on.
I love that they don't drag it out. Rewatch it. I forgot.
Right,
I assumed,
right.
again, going into this, it's been a long time. I just thought, okay, they're gonna have the traditional stuff. They're gonna drag this out, and it's like, oh my god, it's
no,
really
like
good.
right away. It's like they just kind of get it out of the way, and Mike's on E.T.'s side very quickly.
And I'll tell you something really cool. The actor here that's playing Michael, he's heard about E.T., but he had not seen E.T. until this very scene. So this is actually his reaction to seeing E.T. the first time.
Yeah, that's great. That's great.
He had no idea what it was going to look like. I mean, again, they kind of knew he wasn't. They knew he wasn't a real alien, but they kind of had an attachment like he was a real person to them. You know,
Yeah.
Of course.
like he was a co-star.
Like Spielberg's like, hey guys, E.T.'s coming out on set today, so you better all be nice for E.T. Yeah, E.T.
So the brown Play-Doh comment, by the way, started this lovely commentary podcast. He was kind of joking. It was brown clay though, but it was very Play-Doh.
Yeah, I know he was joking. Seriously, that B-movie marketing, like, it wasn't a great movie, but that movie had a great marketing campaign.
It did. You know, I had high hopes for B-movie, and I like elements of it. I still could have delivered a little more.
Yeah.
Well, what are you talking about?
B-movie. Jerry Seinfeld's a B.
Oh yeah, that one.
That's all you need to know about that movie,
I've seen
literally.
I've seen it.
Okay, yeah, great genuine reaction here.
You know, like that he doesn't freak out, but we have that
Smile
safe security
fades.
here.
Oh god, perfect timing for Barrymore, just perfect.
One of the most. That is a very flimsy shelf.
Yeah. It's probably the second
Yeah,
time
you're
it's
right.
falling
He
down.
kind of like backs into it like very slowly, and it's just like, oh god.
Again, I just love the camaraderie we have amongst our family here.
Oh, just right off the bat, these three kids are in it together.
Gertie screams again.
Yeah.
And he's the infamous screams.
We have one of the most famous screams in all of cinema, that Drew Barrymore scream at E2 there.
Yeah.
You'll notice he has a little Betty Boop pin on her lapel there. Little note there for you.
Kind of weird.
I thought it was a little neat. You know, it's, well, again, she likes Betty Boop. No, everyone could like Betty Boop. I don't know.
Oh god. One of the few things about this movie is I do think they drag on the reveal to the mother a little too long.
Yeah, I see where you're coming from.
To the point where, I don't know, we'll get into it, but to the point where it's
It
like...
gets pretty funny later on, though.
Yeah, they play it for comedy. They start playing it for comedy eventually.
I'm saying it's not frivolous when they do it, though. And again, it does build for kind of an emotional moment when she does.
It does.
And again, initially, well, I'll get to it later on when it happens. Never mind. But yeah, so again, E.T. I was getting as he's made from brown clay. The building of this character is really interesting. He's brown clay again. Probably some chicken wire. That one he might not have been exaggerating on. It's brown clay. You'll notice it's really hard to see, but the crevices of E.T., all the little wrinkles, those are done in purple paint. So again, you're going for like a real earthy kind of plant-like thing.
Right, yeah.
And actually, the reason his eyes are so expressive, even in this stage, even before the advent of CG, is that they used actual glass eyes.
Yeah.
It was like a little interesting thing.
That's it's like a doll's eyes.
Speaking of doll's eyes, I really do love that this bit that's just happened there. It feels so. They play with Gertie's age, like that's what a kid her age would do. Again, get such an honest performance out of these kids because they are real kids in this movie. Essentially, again, the whole like Jacob said at the beginning of this, the whole shooting in chronological order. Again, it's kind of an evolving thing of them kind of bonding over this alien. And I forget if the doll thing was. I don't know if she knew the doll thing was going to happen. I'm not sure if like half improvised or not. But there are some improvised moments in this movie. Like she has that great line where she says, "I don't like his feet coming up." What do you guys think of the telescoping neck? I think that's cool.
Yeah, I think it's one of the trademark features of E.T. for sure.
Yeah, this shot's great. It's like a reverse Roy Scheider shot from Jaws. So how cool is that shot that we just kind of pan back and the whole place gets bigger?
No, you're right.
Keys. There's the.
There's the keys. You haven't even seen his face yet. That's kind of what you guys were talking about earlier.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's why they're
Yeah.
going with the whole Tex Avery thing. I don't see the.
Very ominous.
But then it reveals him to be, a really sweet guy later on. I love that.
Yeah, which is cool. He's basically adult Elliot.
Yeah.
I know. Yeah. I love that. I didn't know it was like a thing with all the family members. I loved it initially when she calls her Mary. I thought that was hysterical, showing like, yeah, she's definitely hiding something. But no, apparently she and Michael call her Mary at times. So I mean, that's I don't know, might be.
It reminds me of Dylan calling Norma.
That's fair. I was thinking a little bit like Mindy and Button sort of thing. Like, yeah, thank you, lady.
Oh God. Oh, I forgot about that. Oh, Mindy. Oh God.
Well, hey,
that was
Tyson.
pretty adorable.
Mindy and Buttons?
Yeah, from
Oh, thank you,
Animaniacs.
lady.
Oh, yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
I forgot that she called her mother lady. Oh God.
Okay,
Anyways.
if we could somehow de-age Vera Farmiga, it should be Mindy.
Oh God.
That laugh.
Okay, we're at an important plot point right here.
Right.
Let's veer from Farmiga. More talking about the plant, because the plant's the most important symbol in the movie.
Tiki, your laugh is priceless.
No, I'm sorry. Just shrinking down Vera Farmiga just to have her play Mindy. That's just like in a perfect world that would happen. Oh my God. Come on, Buttons. All right.
You stop.
Would we shrink her down like baby doll style, or just
Why
like
can't
actually
we get off the
de-age
Vera
her?
Farmiga subject?
All right. I don't like his feet either. They're
And
very
that's such a, again, I love the honest lines we're getting out of these kids, though. It feels just so true to life. Again, I don't like his feet. It's so accurate. Again, points to Drew Barrymore. She was a prodigy, that kid.
She was, absolutely.
She's so adorable. Look at her. There are little bows in there. Right?
I love how, slimy he looks, almost.
Yes. Yeah. Again, I love. Now, this is like one of the great mime improvisations here, where the mime underneath the table. Basically, the mime is laying on his back while there's E.T. Just with the arm there pointing up. He just took like a little piece of watermelon. Oh, Spielberg loves that bit. It's one of his favorite puppeteering moments. In
Nice. Yeah.
And I'm with you there. That's very impressive. It's so a little human touch, Again, it's like, well, get food on you. Again, and this isn't, again, it's like all E.T. controlled by wires and string, but in the meantime, you have like these little arms just doing these little clever moments of improvisations. It's clever. Yes. This is a really clever idea here, because he hasn't learned to speak yet, and you have a lot that is conveyed without dialogue here, which is what you want. You're conveying that, okay, he's not from anywhere on Earth, he's from outer space. How we communicate that fully, like he's trying to demonstrate where in the cosmos his planet is, with this little spinning going on here.
The movie is it's a slow build of whimsy. You know what I mean? That's how I describe this movie.
Now, why is he looking into the light bulb? I don't get that.
Well, he's not looking into the light bulb, he's looking next to the light bulb.
Yeah.
Why, though? Why?
Well, he's looking out through the curtains of the space, looking dramatically.
The curtains were closed, but...
Well, I mean the little blinds thing. Just, again, he pointed out towards the blinds.
Alright, I don't buy that, really. The whole thing.
I think it's fine. It's
very dramatic effect.
I know, but, that's why I don't buy, just because I feel like it's just there to add dramatic effect. I can look past it.
It is there to add dramatic effect. It's a damn movie.
I do love this red light that kind of gave everyone kind of this red light whenever they kind of cross this gate here.
Uh-huh.
I think we saw some of that with Elliot earlier in the movie, too.
Dramatic effect.
Yes. Yes, the flower thing. Yes, this idea.
Yeah, here we go. Here we go.
Beautiful, brilliant Williams score right here.
Now, how did they do that again?
I filmed it in reverse or something.
Probably.
The light, they've had
slow, time-lapse photography in reverse, I'd imagine.
Huh.
Yeah, that's how they
Either
did.
that or it's stop motion.
I don't think it's that. I think it's the time-lapse reverse thing.
Yeah.
I know of several scenes in other movies where they film it upside down. I guess they film it upside down. They film it upside down, then they reverse it.
I love the brothers being on each other's side here. You know, like now the brothers kind of come around from mocking him, but he's kind of defending him especially Greg here. I love the runner of like, "Shut up, Greg."
Shut up, Greg.
Now the guy with the bandana here, that's the actor.
Oh, it's C. Thomas Howell?
Yeah, the guy that's talking here.
Oh, okay. Well, no. I don't think he's Greg. I think I could have sworn he's one of the other guys, but I might be mistaken. I looked in Wikipedia who was who, and it was like they listed them all three of them next to each other. I could be screwing up the order.
Wonderful.
And of course they threw in a Uranus joke.
Greg is the one with the giant headphones.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Yeah, you're right, bandana then.
Yeah.
I do like there is some setup that the girl does like Elliot. There, she keeps looking at him.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Greg looks so miserable, or I'm sorry, Mike looks so miserable in that shot on the
school
bus.
bus looks so chaotic, and I'm not saying that's what put me off of the school bus, but I'm just saying that's like a reason. It's probably not the best of places.
Look on her shirt. She has a gun pin on her shirt.
She has a lot of
Yeah,
pins.
it's a gun. See?
I wonder if that's like a gag or something like
It's
that.
foreshadowing, Sandy. It's foreshadowing that Spielberg's going to remove the gun.
I wonder if that was the 2002 version.
Oh God.
I'm just wondering if the whole different
It'd
pin.
be very easy to Photoshop out. All you'd have to do is like paint blue over it.
Oh, this is a great famous scene right here.
Oh,
This
yeah.
is parodied so many times.
Oh yeah.
She doesn't notice it because it looks like another doll.
I think this is what made people like the kids that weren't put off by E.T. like us, and excluding Sandy, wanted an E.T. doll. Sandy, did you want an E.T. doll?
Me? Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I've always wanted an E.T. doll.
Really? Okay, so there you go.
I have the action.
The rest of
figure.
us were put off by E.T., but Sandy wants the E.T. doll.
You know what I really like about the moment that just passed with the teacher? I love that he put the paper back and didn't make a fuss about it. I think on some level he respects the creativity in that moment before he goes too far with it a little later on.
Yeah.
Because like that was a really nice drawing, like E.T. smiling, all happy-go-lucky, and that was nice. Yeah, and he came up with the name E.T. there after again, oddly enough, he's coming up with the name E.T. from they're not bullies because they come around in the end. You know, again, Michael's friends kind of mock him, say, "Oh, you saw Terrestrial, did you?"
Tiki,
Yo.
see this?
What?
On my camera here? Oh wait.
I'm not looking, dude, because I'm watching the movie in full screen.
Oh, yeah, your thing just passed, so I don't know.
All right.
No.
I have an E.T. action figure here.
I have an E.T. like a stone E.T. for a rock garden.
Nice.
Backyard.
I was walking past it was like a big DVD store. What's it called? I don't know. Yeah, but they had a giant E.T. statue, and it was like him in his dress-up outfit.
Oh
It
God.
was like a giant foam figure. It was
Aw.
crazy.
Potato salad.
So this is definitely the moments of levity in the movie right here. Like, this is the movie at its most fun and its most childlike.
Yeah.
So this E.T., there were three performers that were the little people in the suit, and one of them was an 11-year-old kid, but he had no legs. So all the drunk E.T. walking around coming up is the legless 11-year-old.
Oh, that's kind of sad.
No, I mean it gave him like this great thing of like he could walk on his hands, and he did this. That's why it looks so great when he kind of topples over later on.
Are you saying the kid actually didn't have any legs?
He
or
had no legs. He was
Okay.
trained. That's why he was trained to walk on his arms so well,
Okay.
and that's why coming up like this scene right here when he's walking around. I know like when he falls over, it's
Right,
directly the kid. I
right,
think
right.
leading up to that is also him.
I feel bad for the kid having to fall over like that, not having any control.
Well, I mean, there's some padding on that. I'm sure the suit particularly had some padding on it for him.
God
Yeah,
bless,
it's good.
God bless Peter Dinklage for like opening the door to little people actors.
Well, yeah.
I'm just saying they don't have to be like paraded around like this because of Peter Dinklage.
Now, guys, what about the Harrison Ford deleted scene?
Well, I thought we were going to talk about after this scene, though.
Oh, okay.
No, man, we want to talk about it now.
Now it's getting drunk.
I love the comedy of like E.T. cracking open another beer and then Elliot like cut to Elliot back with the grin.
Yeah, I like this girl, the setup between him and this girl. I like what ultimately builds to.
Mhm.
However, I will admit though, the shot of like the frogs leaving did creep me out though.
Well,
I gotta tell you guys, frogs in general, I don't do well with frogs. I think frogs are just genuinely
Kermit.
creepy.
Well, Dragon, you were talking about
Kermit
that
doesn't
building up.
count, Dragon, okay? Kermit doesn't count. He's not a real frog. He's not slimy.
Dragon, you were talking about with the girl building up. She actually had a crush on him before. If
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yes, I mean, I love it's continuing that build-up that we saw on the bus. So, like, around the bus, she's
okay.
looking at him like she likes him.
Okay, do schools do this?
Well, not anymore.
Good, because this is fucked up.
Well, I know high school.
I saw this, and this genuinely made me angry.
Well, I know. I remember high school. I didn't have to do this in high school. But then again, I'm doing it in grade school there. I'm assuming
This
you don't.
is so fucked up.
It's
Well, yeah,
pretty
this is in California. Did you do this? Did you ever have to do this?
No, I never. Let's see. Did I dissect a frog? I don't think I dissected a frog. I know I probably dissected something.
Well,
I dissected brains, pigeons, and sharks.
Pigeons. Ooh.
I mean,
Yeah.
we watched like the flies kind of go up to something that was decomposing once, and that was like just like a piece of pig or something. But you know, for my forensics class. But so there was that, and there was yeah, we didn't have to dissect anything. I think we might look at something digitally online about dissecting. Perhaps. But that was the closest we ever got to it. We didn't have
Right.
I did let's see, I dissected worms, king worms, like big worms,
Jacob, I think that's what I did too.
and I dissected like a frog, and I believe also owl droppings.
Oh yeah, me too.
Yeah, it had like not owl droppings, but it was like they
Owl
or
pellets.
something, and then the pellets.
Yeah, pellets. Yeah, that was it.
I was around for that one. I don't know if I can't remember if I did that, but we observed it in science class. But anyway,
The foreshadowing Halloween there with the pumpkin.
what I love with the foreshadowing too is that I love that it's Elliot kind of in a position that E.T. is going to be at the end of the second act here with the whole frog. That's why he frees the frogs. You know, he doesn't want to dissect this thing again. E.T. being dissected is going to be the big threat later on.
Absolutely.
And again, I like how it's kind of a mixed message coming up here, where again he feels like E.T. wants to go home, so he's going to save these guys and bring them home. So he emotionally is getting to what E.T.'s revelation is.
I love how the kid just runs away. He's like runs away smiling.
I love that he steps on the big kid later, who's kind of putting up a fight.
Yeah.
Like, the thing that was gross about the frogs is like a little bit of water there. And again, like the adult off screen now is a little less friendly towards Elliot because he's freeing all the frogs. To be fair, I mean, come on.
Yeah, and they definitely did that Peanuts thing where they don't show the adult's face.
Yeah.
Right.
But oh yeah, actually Spielberg he actually freed the reason this is in the movie with him freeing the frogs is Spielberg actually did this as a kid and he got away with it. He didn't get in trouble though.
So this feels like a very autobiographical Spielberg movie, like by all intents and purposes.
Hey, I love the girl's face. That little girl's face.
Yes, I love the old school Hollywood kiss coming up here. Again, more appreciation than I did at the time. Just the shot kind of creeped me out of the frogs leaving the bag. I don't know what it was. It wasn't the fact that it was scary. It was such an like the light outside with the frogs leaving, and that was always kind of weirded me out. I now have a fondness for it. Now it's like I love E.T. kind of becoming enamored with the thing.
He just steps on this kid.
Yep. I love how her shoes turn at the end here, though. That's what I love most about it. And the score is fantastic in this scene too. Again, the whole sequence is really well edited. That's the thing we should really give the points for.
For sure.
You know, the intercutting it between E.T. kind of again the psychic link being as strongest here, and now the thing that we're not seeing here that I forget if it was added to the 2002 version or if it's just a deleted scene on both is that Harrison Ford was the principal of this school, Tiki.
Yeah.
Have you seen the scene?
No, I have not.
Well, basically, Harrison Ford, he's not seen, which is the main reason he did, and also again he was dating and or married to the writer of this film at the time, his first wife, not Calissa Flockhart, and he appeared just because he wasn't going to be shown, like a Peanuts or like a Tex Avery sort of thing, and he was given this grandiose principal-esque speech.
Oh God!
And he turned around. Oh, he turned around. The way E.T. got the materials for the communicator is that he lifted him down the stairs or something, and Elliot was lifted in the room. To me, that didn't make much sense, but he was him and the kid.
So this is where they start playing the mother not noticing E.T. for comedy.
Yeah, this is funny though. Again, I just
Yeah,
passed like when he knocked him out, when she knocked him unconscious.
Oh, I think you already killed him.
Yeah, not just knocked him down. I mean,
I love how Gertie is just like so casual about the mother killing him.
I know. It's weird. Later on, when she's actually possibly dead, that's when it's gonna be really
Of course.
dry eye in the house, folks.
Yeah, the whole refrigerator thing is kind of like the whole Tex Avery thing again. Like, he doesn't notice because you hit him with a refrigerator.
And it very much is like cartoon slapstick for sure.
I really do love her wardrobe choice. Again, mentioning all this Vera Farmiga stuff, I'm just saying I love the wardrobe.
Vera Farmiga, Dragon, we can't escape her. We can't escape her.
But I do love that Gertie teaches E.T. how to talk. I do love that idea here, and it's kind of coming from a simple place. He doesn't know all the words, but he knows kind of the simple words like, be good.
Right.
Also, the voice of E.T. That's what is it? It's Pat Welsh and Ben Burt altering it by adding a lot of other sounds and a lot of other voices into Pat Welsh's really kind of cultured voice. Yeah, it's been. She was a big smoker in the time. That's why she has kind of that voice for E.T. She's been,
kind of like Mercedes McCambridge.
Similar, yeah.
Does anyone know who voiced E.T.?
Well, yeah, Pat.
You just said.
This woman named Pat Welch, and Ben Burt altered and added some other voices in there too. So I mean, there was a lot of other contributors.
Of course he can talk.
So I like that we have kind of this amazing puppet, and we also at the same time we have another amazing puppet on the TV. We have Big Bird and Grover. Different in different ways, of course, but both very impressive. Oh yes, and the phone home thing. So again, he's got the idea from the newspaper of thanks to Buck Rogers, not Flash Gordon, but Buck Rogers.
Yeah, that's a very important distinction. Yeah.
Yeah, I do love visually you get to see E.T.'s thought process. That was a really interesting. That was really cool touch.
Elliot very dramatic about Gertie with E.T. alone.
Yes.
That was the foam thing in the store, right there.
Yeah.
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 Now he can talk now.
I taught him how to talk. He can talk now.
She's so proud.
Oh, yeah, she taught him how to talk.
So what do you think about E.T. and Drag?
It's fine. I like Sandy said, I could see it as a statue. It works well.
Yeah. I have nothing against it. I just want to bring it up. It's just pretty funny,
I just like Elliot's reaction to it.
Oh God!
Oh God!
Now I gotta tell you, with the exception of that, oh God, I think again, out of context, Henry Thomas, a lot of his yelling doesn't play well, but again, in context in the movie, it works a lot better.
Dragon, I absolutely agree. It's out of context if you see a scene.
It's even in the audition. When I saw the audition, I was like, yeah, the yelling. Again, it's a kid would get upset like that. I don't know. It's not really tickling my fancy. But when you have all the stuff factored in there, though, it's it works fantastically.
Phone home. Here's the phone home moment.
Ah, yes. We now have a goal.
End of Act 1. This is actually a very long Act 1. It's longer than usual Act 1.
It's that's almost like half the movie.
Right. But then again, Jaws Act 3 is half the movie.
Sure, yeah.
Again, I do see a lot of Spielberg and
Mike
Michael.
Smile just constantly getting wiped off his face with E.T.
Now, all the bathtub stuff, that was added in later then, I guess.
Yeah, that was the 2002 version.
Right, so they filmed all that then, beforehand.
Yeah, they did. They filmed it, they deleted it, then they added it back in 2002, but also they digitally altered it, though. That's the thing. I don't know what happened with the Harrison Ford thing. I don't know if they added that or just still like the...
I don't think they added that.
I think it just dragged on.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it might have been a deleted scene on the DVD.
That's the thing. The Harrison Ford thing was okay, but again, it was making
It's just kind of a giant in-joke more than anything else.
That's the thing. It was servicing the point of I kind of like that we didn't focus on the mother like kind of berating Elliot or anything. Kind of that scene suggested that was going to lead to that, you know.
Sure.
Again, this movie just on many levels. Again, I'm not saying just because I like the guy, but I do feel Tiki. Tell me if I'm crazy here. Doesn't this feel like a Brad Bird movie as well? In many points, like the kid interaction.
I can see Brad Bird's style to it. Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. I think this is more realistic. Like the problem I have with Brad, like Tomorrowland, I love the Casey character, but she is played by like an actress who's older than me, who's supposed to be playing like a 16-year-old. So I like how the kids in E.T. are actually their own age.
I think it's even like in something like The Incredibles, you can see the Spielberg influence on Brad Bird.
Totally.
Well, they did work together on Amazing Stories.
Right.
Oh yeah, you're right.
So they have worked together in the past.
All right.
Yeah. I'm surprised Spielberg hasn't like fully produced one of Brad Bird's movies at some point. Like the Iron Giant feels like something that Spielberg would produce.
And pretty much Iron Giant is just. I mean, this movie is good. Don't get me wrong. But I mean, if I had a gun to my head, I'm going to go with Iron Giant over this.
Oh,
gun to my head.
Oh, that's tough. That's tough, Dragon.
I'm saying I think there's room for both of them. I'm saying if
I
you
haven't
gun to my
seen
head,
Iron Giant since we've done our big Iron Giant podcast a couple of years ago. I'd have to go back and watch it again.
Yeah, two excellent choices though.
Of course.
Oh man.
Yeah, I mean, come on, you can't beat Superman. Come on.
Iron Giant is another movie that's basically fucking Richard Donner Superman.
Well, it's not the same thing.
Yeah, I know. Hercules is the same thing.
Yes, that is very similar. Yes. I like this. This is a great framing device, too. I do like this comes back the whole Peter Pan thing and the whole you clap the original thing where you clap and you bring Tink back from being poisoned.
Oh yeah.
And I do like that it's going to be big for E.T. later on, but at the same time, it's like mentioning at the end of this sequence here, like as E.T. heals Elliot here, it's like I do believe in fairies or something along the magic is in the air.
Yeah.
No, actually,
I love the way his pupils shrink and grow there.
And that's because of the glass eyes right there.
And we're at the point in the movie now where we're getting these really cool, like, majestic shots of E.T. They're not obscuring him anymore. We're in the child's perspective with him.
Yeah,
and I like that. It's like they slowly build to E.T. in these really majestic shots and these really well-lit shots.
You wonder something really...
And it kind of ties into Spielberg directing Hook later.
Oh, God, You're right, it does.
Oh, my God, yeah, you're right. But you know what's...
you know what? When I first saw this movie, I actually kind of thought about that. I was like, wait a minute, didn't Spielberg direct Hook?
Well, you know something interesting? The healing thing. Actually, the writer talked to kids, and kids actually said, if you had a power, you had a buddy who had a power, what would it be? And they all wanted healing, oddly enough. That's why healing's in the movie, because they were thinking of what additional abilities to give to E.T. and also the lighting. Sorry?
Flying, he has that too.
Right.
Well, yeah, flying. I'm saying in addition to that, they were kind of looking for extra powers to give him, and that was another one. But
isn't the healing kind of dangerous because it psychically links them? So it's like if he, I don't know. Well, I know it's a different thing because it's like when we get to the point where they're feeling the same things, then it gets kind of dangerous.
Then it gets dangerous. Yeah, I mean, we don't remember. It's like he's able to heal other people though, so we know he can heal others.
Right.
And apparently also plants.
Well, yeah, that's kind of
very importantly.
Yeah. Anyway, also the reason the finger lights actually is kind of twisted. It's that from the original movie, the Night Skies movie. It was basically a horror movie with gremlins and aliens. The reason the lighting finger was used for a much more malicious purpose of like trying to hurt people, and they just kind of repurposed that one.
Oh no.
So basically, the light fingers now
symbol. Fingers were off-putting. God damn it!
I did feel bad that Guri doesn't get to go trick-or-treating. Is that right? Do we know she gets to go trick-or-treating?
Does she?
I mean,
she's dressed up.
Yeah, she does. Because when the mom finds them, Michael's with Gertie.
Oh, okay. That's
Okay, that's good.
Okay, we're fine then. I would always felt bad. Like again, I just watched it the third time I watched it earlier today. I was like, oh, it's kind of a shame she doesn't get to go trick or treating.
And
So that's good news.
Most adorable cowgirl this side of Sally Brown.
Yeah. And this, I love her.
Again, little shrunken down Vera Farmiga as a cowgirl.
I do love how cute this mother is. Again, I love Mary's such an adorable character, where she's like so happy-go-lucky at seeing the costumes here.
Oh,
It's like a joyful scream coming up.
And she thinks that's Gertie under the costume.
Yeah, it's adorable. You know, I'm with you, Tiki. 100% Vera Farmiga in the remake. If they ever do that. So again, we're hoping they don't. But again, if you just want to make the best out of a bad situation,
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Now, what if they did a E.T. remake and they changed his
And
design?
cast Drew Barrymore's daughter is Gertie.
What if they changed E.T.'s design? That would suck.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think they might do like kind of a RoboCop thing where they're going to have a big homage to it, but then they're going to change it somehow. Yeah, well, again, if Brad Bird's behind, I think we'll be in good hands if Brad Bird's behind it. But let's not talk
I
about
think we're
this.
talking in hypotheticals here. I think E.T. exists with the Wizard of Oz. It's like an untouchable.
Certainly, it does. We're just joking about that, folks. We don't want it to be remade. But again, this is great though. So again, I like the POV shot
I
through
do want
the.
to see Vera Farmiga in that adorable cat outfit, though.
Yes, I'm with you. By the way, that shot we just had from the sheet POV. Does not all work because the eyes are too close together.
Yeah, you're right.
But
yeah.
We're getting ever closer to the famous bike scene.
Oh yeah.
And now, actually, here's a great little cameo here. This is fantastic. Now, coming up here, yeah, he comes up and you'll notice if you listen real carefully, this is Steven Spielberg throws in there.
Aliens are from the Star Wars galaxy. I don't care what anyone says. It's a goddamn fact.
Anyway, as you see Yoda, you hear the Yoda theme.
Yeah.
You hear the Yoda theme from Empire play just for a little bit there, and it's like a little. I don't know if it was just I don't know if they improvised it because the kid was just randomly dressed in the Yoda costume. But regardless, like Spielberg was at the premiere, or like when he's screening at Lucasfilm, he nudged it at George Lucas, or Lucas was seeing the movie with him. He just kind of nudged him like Lucas nudged him, saying, I know what you did there. It's adorable.
Okay. E.T., there's a lot of aliens in the scene. There's a lot of creatures in the scene. E.T. goes to Yoda specifically.
Yeah.
Specifically points out Yoda to say, that's where my home is. That is where my home is. E.T. lives in the same goddamn universe as Star Wars.
Oh, come on.
Yes, he does. You see them in Phantom Menace.
Oh, don't.
Yes, he does. He totally lives in the Star Wars universe.
No.
I totally believe he does.
I don't believe that. Again, the whole fact that we saw a Yoda costume completely contradicts that.
It's alternate dimensions, Dragon. This is the dimension where Star Wars is fictional.
Well,
When he gets in the spaceship, they travel interdimensionally.
How does it travel interdimensionally if it's the same universe as Star Wars?
Rick and Morty. How do Rick and Morty travel interdimensionally?
I don't care how Rick and Morty travel.
And by the way, it's other universes, not dimensions.
All right. But let's talk about this bike scene, though. Seriously.
So this is a famous scene.
One of the most iconic scores in cinema history.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, without this, you don't have the cool emblem logo.
One of the most memorable pieces of music.
Da, 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 da. Sing with me, guys. Da, da, da,
Oh, here it is. It's close. Here we go.
But I tell you, seriously, guys, rewatching this and just having the scene play the Williams music, it just, again, being on the ride.
It's movie magic. It really is.
The ride will just put you in.
There it is.
Oh, there's the moonshot.
Oh yeah.
I tell you though, that the ride just captures this moment perfectly, guys. Because you're just behind that scene, you're hearing that music. That's all you really need.
So in the ride, you do go in front of the moon, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool.
That was a pretty cool ride.
Well, you see him go in the front of it, then I think you follow in the moon.
Okay.
That's how it goes, I think. Or like your shadows are on the moon. That's what they're trying to get you that feeling. The point is, it's a really great. It captures the magic of that moment perfectly in that ride. That's one of my fondest memories. Again, I think that hit upon what we're supposed to get upon if you didn't
What
clip
does
the
it better, Dragon? Peter Pan's flight or E.T.'s adventure?
E.T. has more atmosphere than Peter Pan.
Okay, fair enough.
Hands down. Again, Peter Pan looks beautiful, but that E.T.
That's a comparison a lot of people make between the two.
But E.T. puts you in the mindset of the movie, the way you're
It's
supposed to
also mom
experience.
trying to put out the candles.
And plus, E.T. says your name.
I know, that's even better. I mean, again, it's such an immersive experience. A great ride is marked by immersiveness.
Yeah, let's see Peter Pan say your name, huh, Disney? Huh? All right.
You can fly, but not say your name.
So long, Tiki. So long, Sandy.
Wait, what about me?
Adios, Jacob. I don't know why he said adios.
Well, let's see. It's right next to it's a small little ride, some odd
right,
location
right.
in the nexus of the universe.
Sayonara.
Oh God.
Sayonara,
See,
T.
E.T. See, here's the thing. E.T. just has like kind of a day job at Disney where he just says he's like the ride greeter at the exit. You know, he says he's wearing like the Mickey Mouse cap. And he's wearing like kind of like a Peter Pan shirt saying "Goodbye, Tiki. Goodbye, Sandy. Come again, Jacob."
So like waving slowly too.
Yep, and like the light up thing to direct people out instead of just say, out this way.
No. Go home. Go home.
Be good. Go home.
Good.
Buy merchandise.
I'll be right here.
Be good.
All right.
Give me a good review on Craigslist.
Not Yelp.
Sorry. But yes, our intimidating guys are on the move.
Still never see their faces.
No, not yet. Again, very good. Again, we don't really. Essentially, we don't see any adult faces in the first day. I think it's pretty safe. I don't think we see any.
Except their mom, of course.
Yeah, outside of the mother.
Except her, but again, they're kind of playing the idea she's kind of like one of the kids in a way. You know, because she's a fractured character because of the divorce. She's vulnerable. That's the main. But you're right, though. Yeah, she's the only one we see in the first day.
Well, there was that old lady on the
Okay,
distance.
this is like the
No.
Alan Grant Brontosaurus special, as I like to call it. This is a moment in the movie where things get all whimsical and shit. The Alan Grant Brontosaurus special.
Yep. I always love the little detail of the fork there, just kind of like grabbing onto the next one. I love this whole, you know, man, I'm a big gadget guy.
Like a Pee-wee style device in a way.
Yeah, I love it. So it's a Rube Gold. It's like a Rube Goldberg thing. Yeah, it's like that. At the same time, I like kind of the mechanism. There's enough plausibility that in this fictional thing, it could actually work. If like the speak and spell spells out the word like the beacon, that it gets broadcast out there in some way. Again, doesn't actually work like that at all. But it's like E.T.'s an alien, knows how it works. I don't know.
It's like I keep saying, it's a movie. Who cares?
Yeah, exactly. There's a strawberry shortcake in there.
To quote Chris from Family Guy, "It's the government, E.T. Run, E.T. Run!" Ah!
Oh, but Family Guy and American Dad, they've had their fun E.T. jokes.
That is one of my favorite Family Guy gags, along with the cool.
I remember American Dad. Yeah, American Dad actually has an alien in their show, so you can
That's
imagine
true.
the
American
E.T.
Dad very
gags.
much has its own E.T. for sure.
And it did start the Golden Turd Saga. Now, the Golden Turd Saga is that after the bike ride, Roger had to take care of some business after being on the wrong end of a burrito.
Oh.
And the idea is the Golden Turd Saga is like this drama in the middle of the American Dad comedy where you have like an actual like legitimate drama going on between people finding like it's like sort of like the curse of the monkey paw, keep finding and falling to ruin, and it's just to be continued. Anyway, sorry. Middle of the woods.
Deer.
Yes. Oh, thank you.
Bumby's mom.
Is that Bambi?
Oh God! Oh, this scene is just like where Elliot's like, "I can take care of you." This is sad. This is some sad stuff right here.
Yeah. And just kind of Elliot's kind of pleased here for E.T. to say, come on.
Yeah, it's like he's kind of realizing like I'm helping him get home, but if he gets home, he'll have to leave me, and I don't want that.
Yeah.
And like, I will be with you.
Yeah.
E.T. silently, pretty much silently telling him, "I'll always be with you."
Mm-hmm.
Again, so much is conveyed even before he says that, though. You know.
Totally. I love how "I'll be right here" is one of the first things that Elliot tells E.T. though.
Mm. Yeah, it's kind of funny that in E.T.'s design, actually, he's designed in a similar way of Yoda with the face. You know, they had like the Einstein wrinkles. They had some other geniuses in there. So a lot of.
I think the big difference is the retractable neck.
Oh, yeah. It makes sense that E.T. would be pals with Yoda.
You're damn straight he's pals with Yoda. And they go to the fucking Mos Eisley Cantina every weekend, Dragon. Every weekend!
Yoda's a hermit. He doesn't have a spaceship, Tiki. How does he get there?
It was before he exiled himself.
No, his hut transforms into this big ship.
And why couldn't you have taken him to Darth Vader?
Because he died.
No, he died in the 6th movie, not the 5th.
Well, yeah, but...
he's old. He's really old.
He can't fly it. This was in his younger years.
He could have told Luke about it.
He and E.T. would hang out.
Okay, this is basically the first time we're hearing... Well, we're not seeing the face, though. No, we're still not seeing the face.
Well, I don't think this is Keys.
It's not Keys.
It's a police officer. Or it's the FBI.
But I'm just pointing out, like, are we going to see his face?
No, we're not. No, again, Keys is our first face, Tiki. I'm pretty sure Keys is our first face.
I'm just tracking it.
Because he has like a big reveal. That makes me think he's our first face. You know.
Right.
All the other people are wearing masks.
Yeah, it's like the point is you never get a good look at the face, even if there's like kind of a semblance of a face there. You know. Because they have like astronaut faces later on, so there's like nothing shown.
Yeah, that's definitely not Keys. He doesn't have a key.
Yeah. Plus, I don't think Keys is like.
Guys, I never said it was Key. I just.
All right. We're not breaking over the coals over Keys. Oh yeah, this moment here, I completely forgot about this rewatching it today, and it blew me away. This moment coming up with I love the bike chase here. Like he knows he's being followed, and he's trying to lose these guys. But
this is my favorite scene in the movie, probably.
This is when Michael kind of steals it the whole way. You know, it's like if you didn't like Michael already, you're gonna love him here.
Totally. And again, this is like the perfect example of like the biggest adventure is in your own backyard. It's like with the music, with the chase. It's so exciting, but it's so modest at the same time.
And again, it's like it feeds the imagination so well. Again, it's like you can imagine like you as a kid after seeing this movie playing this theme music in your head as you're just kind of riding around on a bike.
Right, exactly.
You know, and at the same time though, this kid, he was really he talked with Spielberg a lot, and one of the things he mentions, like, anything you're good at, is just, he's really great riding his bike. He loves riding his bike, and that's probably why they put that scene in there. It shows you the camaraderie you got with these kids. Now, this scene here I completely forgot about, and it blew me away how emotionally impactful it was when Michael finds kind of our husk of E.T. coming up.
Oh, I remember it because just of how white E.T. is. It's horrifying.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I remember being really white and disturbing looking later on. I completely forgot about the whole stumble upon finding him moment.
Right.
Oh, God, it's so heartbreaking, though. And the Williams music just accentuates it so well.
Oh, look at him.
Oh, God. Jeez.
Oh, yeah, there he is. Now I see him.
He's not fully white yet, but he's still in really bad shape.
Raccoon.
He's just loving, no, get out of here.
I'm not the raccoon yet. Oh, there he is.
Jacob, I think I met where you are. And
I have 39:08 left.
Sandy and Dragon are like a couple seconds ahead of us. Oh, well.
I got 39 minutes left.
That's all good. It's all good.
Yep, same here now.
Oh, there he is. Man, Keys is so freaking intimidating.
They really play him up to be like some kind of bad guy.
Yeah, and again, I love that they give him levels like the mayor from Amity. Like Mayor Vaughn, he's got layers.
Right. I think he's more likable than Mayor Vaughn.
He is.
Definitely.
mean, initially, again, I completely forgot how likable this guy was, because at first I thought it was going to be your cookie cutter, like, stupid government guy.
Right.
I'm wondering why she's saying it's terrific, because it's not terrific.
Well, no, she thinks it's like kind of like a creation or something that they made, like a fake.
Oh, okay.
Either that or it's like kind of a sarcastic, oh, great, more good news. Still the coffee pour, though.
Oh, God.
But how intimidating, how scary is that? As a mother, man, I love this reaction she does have. Just kind of realize, oh my God, my kid says he's dying.
Yeah, this is where him and Elliot being connected is really starting to get very dangerous.
Yeah, but it was so intimidating. Not intimidating. It was so heartbreakingly sad when E.T. said "mom" to her. And with that psychic link, it's really right here coming up, I think. No, never mind. I just passed it. Oh yes.
Oh God.
I love on The Big Bang Theory recently. They kind of dedicated a really nice moment to mentioning how sad. Basically, if anyone else had just kind of forgotten about how impactful this moment from E.T. was, they kind of brought it up for everyone, mentioning it was so sad when it looked like he flatlined. They almost cried in the show. That was the gag. But oh my God, it was so impactful.
Now, are they just doing this to scare them? Like, why are they wearing?
Oh, remember they're
astronaut
preventing
suits?
them from leaving.
I know, but why are they wearing astronaut suits? I don't get that.
Let's see. Is it kind of? Yeah, you're right. Those are astronaut suits.
I want to say it's hazmat.
I think it's just hazmat suits that look. They're supposed to look like astronaut suits, but they're technically hazmat.
Yeah, they're supposed to look like
the symbols on them. They look more like astronauts.
Astronaut suits, just kind of stylistically, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like they're hazmat, but they're stylistically absolutely supposed to look like astronauts. But later on here, these guys actually do look very much like hazmat guys.
I love how intimidating this all is. It gets very like almost operatic. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just like, oh boy, shit's going down now.
This moment here too, when remind me, is this Keys or is this just random guy going up here?
It's random guy.
Okay, random guy. Just points. Even when random guy comes up here, just kind of looks in there, disappears, and you see this poor alien on the ground there. He just gives kind of like he doesn't like do anything. It's like no emotion you can read on this astronaut here.
We would hear Keys if it was Keys.
Right. So yeah, it's not Keys, but still, again, you don't see the humanity on these guys all because these are completely black gold visor helmets things they got here. An alien begging to go home, dying on the ground. Oh God. That's actually originally they were going to shoot all of this to take him to a hospital, but Spielberg was like in the airport and he kind of saw them putting up the little tent thing and kind of doing construction and kind of like, wait a minute, well, it's right in front of us. Let's put it in the house. It's all about going home. Let's put it in the home.
I think it fits better too, because then it just leads straight to the chase scene.
Oh yeah,
sure, absolutely.
Certainly.
Very smart move.
It's very unconventional too, because it just like
oh jeez. Sorry, go on.
No, I'm just saying, like, the whole house being under, like, the bubble wrap like this, it's just such a unique kind of sci-fi look to it. It kind of adds it almost adds a layer of sci-fi horror to the third act, in a way.
Oh, yeah.
And plus, it's so much more personal than a hospital.
Yeah,
and again, I love that again, seemingly antagonists, kind of our government guys. Again, they're kind of the bad guys, but they're not. They're all bad. They're just doing their jobs for the most part. I love they're kind of played as the aliens invading the house.
I would very much say this is a movie without an antagonist.
Exactly.
Right? Yeah.
The point is, like, our guys, our force here, the government force here. Oh, there's Keys. There's the reveal, Tiki. First face, aside from the mother.
Oh yeah.
But what was I saying? But I like how our government guys are the alien force in this house. Like, they're actually the intimidating. Remember when they were showing up at the house, like preventing them from leaving? They were like aliens attacking the house. Man, I love it. Like our friendly alien versus kind of our scary-looking humans. Right. So, by the way, interesting story. The guy that plays Keys, Peter Coyote. Again, I'm pretty sure it's Coyote, but
it's
anyway.
Coyote. It's definitely Coyote.
Okay, Peter Coyote. Now he got me second guessing myself before Tiki's real sure me here. Point is, Peter Coyote. Actually, he auditioned for Indiana Jones, and he didn't get it because he was too clumsy. Because he tripped, kept tripping over everything when he went in there. Poor guy. But yeah, he got a big famous role here. Keys.
I can't see him as Indiana Jones.
Yeah, neither guy.
Well, I mean, it's hard to picture anyone but Harry.
Well, Tom Selleck almost got it. He wouldn't have been
I
bad.
can't picture Tom Selleck. I know he almost got it, but it's impossible for me to picture that.
I tell you, I've been watching a lot of Blue Bloods recently. He is so good on Blue Bloods.
Right.
Well, if you think about it, he could have been good if he was chosen. I mean...
No, I know, but I'm just saying Harrison made that role his own so much that... Anyways.
I know. I'm just saying.
I still know what blood gas is. I'm getting a sense that E.T.'s blood somehow turns gaseous. That's really creepy.
Yeah. Okay, seriously, this is like one of the most... I remember being absolutely fucking traumatized by this as a kid.
Yeah, I'm digging out in the same boat.
It's like, leave him alone! You're killing him! You're killing him! I'm like, oh god! It's awful! It's fucking awful!
And rewatching this again, I completely forgot about how...
No, it's brutal, man. I mean, they really... Like, look, we're in the low of lows right now, and we're not going to get out of the low of lows until fucking E.T. actually dies.
Yeah, but I mean, I forgot entirely that... Cause I just wrote it off. I wrote the government off as like they were doing stupid stuff, and that was the reason E.T. was dying. But no, it wasn't. They were actually doing all they really could, because the only other option, E.T. was sick already because he needed to go home, and they were just doing all they could to kind of save them both.
Right.
So again, the government is not the bad guy. Again, that was my... After many years, just completely forgot about it.
We have Keys right here. He's just like, I don't know if this is a guy. I can't hear the dialogue.
This is Keys.
No, I know, but I'm just saying, like, I don't know if this is exactly when he's saying, like, look, son, do whatever. Like, what are we doing? What are we missing? What are we doing that we're not already doing?
That's coming up, but he had this... Okay. You're right. But he had this great line. He says...
Sorry, I can't hear the dialogue, so it's hard to know exactly where it is on the screen.
What he's just saying now is that, I wish for this since I was 10 years old, and he's saying, I don't want him to die either. And again...
Which, like I said, very much Keys equals adult Elliot.
I know, and I love that.
You know why, Dragon? You know why?
Why?
Because... your voice got so disappointed there. Because he traveled interdimensionally, because fucking E.T. takes place in the same fucking universe as Star Wars.
And I was right to be disappointed.
How does that exactly tie into being an adult Elliot?
Because this is adult Elliot talking with kid Elliot. It proves that there's alternate universes.
Okay, the real reason is kind of... Okay, but the reason for the comparison is that, he also has a lot of fines for E.T. doesn't want anything bad to happen to him.
Right,
and again, he's been waiting for the scene.
I'm sorry, Dragon. You're absolutely right. And it is very poignant that this guy is very much an adult version of Elliot's ideals, for sure.
I do like the little throwaway lines about kind of E.T.'s physiology. Like they mentioned, he has like 6 strands of DNA or something. Like little throwaway lines. Oh man, this is so traumatizing. I'm amazed kids didn't have therapy bills in the 80s.
Dude, that's what I'm saying! It blew my mind as a kid the first time watching this movie that this movie was like so beloved. Nowadays, I get it. Of course I get it. But it's like, as a kid, going through this shit, it's harsh.
Let's not forget, folks, he literally has E.T. does die in this movie. Okay, now I'm convinced that, you tell me if I'm wrong, guys, you tell me if you have any theories on this, but I'm convinced that the mothership coming home is what brings him back to life. Otherwise, E.T.'s a goner.
Maybe.
That's what I'm thinking.
Is that already stated in the movie?
It states that, when he comes back to life, then he knows that, like, Elliot kind of talks to him and says, they're coming for you, aren't they?
Uh-huh.
That makes me think, okay, well,
That's
it's like
true.
a homing beacon of, like, we're coming back, and that's, like, home is coming closer, so he's back, he's getting better.
Right.
That's my guess.
It has something to do with that heart thing that they showed at the beginning.
Yeah, again, when they're all together, the heart thing goes off, yeah.
Might have something to do with that.
Yeah, it might be.
Or is this one of those things that's implied, you have to interpret it for yourself, or is it like outright stated in the movie?
Well, again, it's like there'll be a line where he says your people are coming, and that's all it's said about it. It's like, they're here for you. And that's how they know to show up at the place, show up where the beacon is.
Exactly.
So they know the beacon's still going off, and he knows that they're on their way. He doesn't know if he's there yet, so he assumes they're there when he comes back to life. Like, they're really close, otherwise, he'd like come back. And I love this moment, Michael here, where he's just kind of he's just longing for his buddy to be back.
Of acting in the movie, Dragon.
Oh yeah.
Also, I'm sorry, this isn't the moment where the flowers die. You know the moment I'm talking
No,
about. Michael's
this is it though.
flappers.
This is it right now though.
Okay.
Oh god, this is terrifying. This is trauma.
Yeah,
Again, I
it's
love
like
Michael's
chalking up
reaction
to a
here.
no. That's a better no than Vader's no.
This is a. Well, yeah, this is a really.
This is how you do a no. Seriously.
Michael's no here. Again, the skeptic now being the true believer here.
Uh-huh.
Oh god, just that little shot from "Don't Go," just like right to the middle of the resuscitation.
Oh god.
Seriously, folks, get the Tiki, break out the inside-out tissues. What do you?
I think the appropriate place to do that is when E.T. is actually dead. Like I said, man, this is a low of lows that goes on for like 10 fucking minutes. It's hard.
And again, the heartbreaking
It's 10
thing.
minutes of straight just like E.T. dying.
It's the heartbreaking thing is that they're not killing him; they're trying to save him. But again, there's nothing they can do either way. It's like there's nothing to save him. That's the horrifying thing.
Right.
It's the hopeless situation away.
Yeah, it makes the resuscitation and coming back to life later all the more effective.
Sure, definitely. But I think it's a lot more harsh than any implied Disney death. Like, Disney does similar things with some characters dying, like Baloo and, other examples like that. But that's not nearly as harsh as something like this, where we see the character fully fucking die. We see the process of him dying in excruciating detail.
Oh, yeah. And again, you gotta remember, the reaction's coming up purely because of that chronological order.
Oh yeah, big time.
Like right here, they're all observing this. They're as far as they're concerned, their friend that they've been working with throughout this movie is on his deathbed and actually bites it here. And Tiki, you're gonna love this. In the making of stuff, there's a shot of Spielberg holding Drew Barrymore coming up here when she's like reaching for the tissues and everything.
Oh.
And he actually says, "I made it so sad." I kid you not. He actually goes so sad, or like I made it too sad, or he basically is like, he has like this great look on his face of like I've done too good a job. I'm a little sad, but I'm also really happy that it's working.
Oh God.
But again, it's like says it's so sad as he's holding adorable, sad
Now
little
I'm
Drew
gonna find that picture and just like have an "It's so sad" caption.
Oh, yeah.
It is sad.
It is.
He did. Well, that's how you can tell when they can make a puppet be sad at the death of a puppet.
Like I'll tell you one thing. There's one puppet death that if it ever happens, it's gonna be more sad than the Kennedy assassination. I swear to God. If they ever kill off Kermit the Frog.
Oh God. Oh, that's
Seriously, that will be like the
horrifying.
nation in mourning if that ever happens.
That's very terrifying to think about. Dragon.
I mean, it's never gonna happen. No one would ever do that to poor Kermit the Frog. Come on.
Steve is just stating the obvious. Something is happening. Something is definitely happening. Well, duh. Did you guys get that? What I meant there?
Not really.
Yeah.
Oh, it was something one of the characters said. Steve, one of the
Well,
kids.
like I said, I can't. My
Oh yeah. Sorry, Sandy. Yeah, I got you. I got you now. So I'm just caught up in the emotions of it right now.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
I love the keys. It's just like I'm watching the subtitles. This keys jangle. It's like him walking over all sorrowfully, and his keys are jangling.
Still, that's his keys.
Yep, that's scary. And older Elliot, younger Elliot. The two boys that dreamed of alien life. Now that life has ended.
I'm not trying to add anything mean here, but not mean, but or inappropriate here, but that makes it kind of look like E.T. has nipples.
Jacob. Like they're all battling, they're all taking their masks and their helmets off in respect. Come on.
I know.
He just put the eyes down. You're thinking about nipples on aliens.
Well, I just got to the eyes, so I'm a little bit behind you guys.
Like, come on, little girl saying it's a dead mom and you're talking about nipples.
Okay, get over it.
You know who has really big nipples? Uncle Sam.
Really? You season 6 Family Guy season? You mother. Okay, let's continue.
This is a sad moment, though.
Oh yeah.
Yes, seriously, bad Family Guy references aside.
I'm sorry, that was awful.
Like season 6 or 7 Family Guy. It's like that's the last bit of vestige of hope you're mentioning there. Oh god! Again, it's so real world how they play. It's like again, icing the body for dissection. And again, I like
Sure.
Elliot tells Keys he knows they're going to cut him up. But again, because again, the dissection thing has been set up early in the movie. That's so sad.
Yeah, just, just put a cotton swab full of chloroform and kill E.T. I mean, that's basically like the equivalent to the frogs.
Oh yeah. And again, essentially, this scene's going on right now. That was the audition scene, pretty much. Then we're going to have to take away E.T. Only difference was he was, alive in the audition.
How's Elliot still alive, though?
I mean, no memory's dead right now.
What?
What?
So how is Elliot still alive? I thought they were like connected and everything.
The connection's split.
Yeah, remember,
Yeah. Once
Okay,
once E.T. dies, like, he starts getting better.
Yeah.
It's like, as E.T.'s dying, Elliot's recovering.
Whether it was E.T. that released him from that, or if it was just like...
I would read it as maybe, like, E.T. healing Elliot as he's dying. Again, it's kind of ambiguous, which I like.
Oh, God, just seeing your friend wrapped in the plastic. Oh, God, it's terrible.
It's disturbing.
Yeah.
And it's sad at the same time.
So it's like too realistic in a way, but
Isn't it just like after gone through that whole hell of like 10 minutes of Elliot being like, "No, you're killing him," and then seeing this, it's like, how did kids survive this? How did this not just break kids' spirits and souls?
I mean, again, it's like it's a shame. Let's just say it's kind of a shame we can't really do this with Death of Superman anymore. But again, that's the way you actually make that count. If they could somehow get a tenth of this scene in that. That's how you make that on screen visually.
Oh, God.
I mentioned that for a reason, Tiki, for a good reason. Let me get to it. So, with the government after E.T. here, there's in the Max Landis' Superman American Alien, there's a fantastic scene of a young Clark Kent watching a drive-in movie of E.T., and in that, there's this great logical thing, and Max Landis came up with that. Clark Kent, as a kid in Smallville, he'd be terrified of E.T. the movie because it's the government going after the alien. That's it freaks him out. That just kind of made me think, and the way the scene's played, this is like kind of a proper Death of Superman scene of like kind of warning our guy here. So Max Landis is genius with that idea, though. Again, it's so obvious and you never thought of it. Like, okay, Superman would have seen E.T. and that's how he would have felt about it. Would have been terrified by it like the rest of us, except Sandy.
Oh, there we go.
Back to the cooler.
And he's the one who closes it.
Yeah. I love this though. Just the flowers coming back. I love the exuberance coming up where he's like in the little mister thing with Michael, and he's like, "Oh, he's alive!" And Michael just jumps and bumps his head coming up.
I want to say that the Michael bumping his head thing was unscripted.
Yeah, I would expect that.
Yeah.
And instantly he's alive. See, the heart thing, like I said, heart thing.
Yeah.
And there's the music again.
Yeah, and there's a line. Does this mean they're coming? Yes.
Now, Spielberg did all the scratch for this, by the way. He's like off camera saying all these lines to him. And funny enough, from the premiere of the movie, he kept saying, you gotta edit yourself out of the movie, Steven. Because he kept hearing him when he was watching the movie, like doing the directions while the movie was going on, because it was so imprinted in his mind when he was watching the movie.
Elliot.
So again, out of context, this yelling and this crying just seems like completely.
Yeah, out of context.
Again, in context, he's playing possum.
Totally.
Steven doesn't make cameos in his movies. That'd be funny. Then he'd be really like Hitchcock.
Oh, yeah.
Awkward silence again.
I like that he offers the flowers, though. I think yes, he offers the flowers. Oh, Michael. I love they're forming the plan here too. We don't hear it, but you see all we need to see is the flowers, man. That's all we need to see.
Right.
We know things are going to turn up from this point. But seriously though, Gerd, you got to learn the art of subtlety, kid.
Oh God.
See, and again, this made me think. Again, not watching it for many years, I could have sworn that I was going to go in the direction of, oh, well, now the government's in the third act when Keyes is showing up, because we know he's going to show up later. He's going to bring, like, oh, then it's the threat, like the ride, when all the guys are showing up in there.
Yeah, the ride, the government is, like, more intimidating than they are in the actual movie.
Well, what they actually do is, like, the ride starts, like the movie starts, where you see the Jeeps pull up, and that makes you think the government force is bad. And that's kind of, I guess, rewatching is what I thought they were going with, is, like, the government still kind of they're going after our poor little alien character in the third act, so it's going to be like
goddamn guns pointed at the fucking children!
Which we'll get to. You know, this Giancarlo Esposito's grandfather.
Oh god. Oh god.
No.
Oh my god.
No, it's just Giancarlo Esposito's uncle.
That'd be fun.
I love that try. I just love the idea these two guys are caught in this tubing.
Oh,
So cool.
More slapstick comedy.
Now he's the Han Solo type, Tiki. Now he's like a Han Solo move. Meet me there! Well, I guess less Han Solo, more Indiana Jones, I guess. I don't know.
And they're being dragged away again.
It's practically the same character.
There's the crane guy.
I love that that Greg there looks a lot like Steven Spielberg and puts the glasses and the hat on.
Now the kids are in on E.T.
Oh, yeah. I love how neurotic Michael is behind the wheel.
And they're hanging on by ropes.
Yeah, they don't know. They don't know where any of these streets or locations are. Mom always drives. Of course he wouldn't know. He's a kid.
I said more slapstick comedy.
Yeah.
This movie has a lot of language for a PG movie, by the way.
Well, remember,
Yeah,
again, that's because he hadn't come up with the rating yet.
Of course. I'm just pointing that out. Just something to track.
But did this come out before? Did this come out before PG-13?
It did.
Yeah, it did.
Do you think if they made it today, it would get PG-13?
I think if they made it today, they might have toned down the language.
Yeah, we would have toned it down, but yeah, they probably still could have got him away with a PG.
I'm just saying, they say shit quite a few times in the movie. This is just so fun with the guys coming up.
Yeah, they're just trying to get closer.
I love he tosses it to the guy, and then
Wee.
look how pissed off he is, just like rummaging through the plastic. Yeah, so look, I'm gonna give him points on this. With the new edition, the main reason he did the whole second edition is because one of his biggest gripes was with the guns. He always regretted the guns thing.
Why?
Well, I mean, again, I kind of agree.
They don't even really point them at the kids. They just have the guns.
I don't know. It looks like they're pointing them at the kids, Tiki. I don't know. I see it.
We'll see it.
I know. I kind of see his point.
He kind of looks like a messiah in this moment right here.
Of course.
Almost kind of looks like a religious figure.
Yeah, that's what they're going for. Kind of if he did the finger up, it would have looked just like the.
Right.
Yep.
Let's go on a ride.
Man from outer space.
Now he says this is reality, Fred. But I mean,
Greg, this is reality, Greg.
Greg. Sorry. But heck, if there's aliens in reality, why can't the ship just beam up in reality too?
Yeah, I don't know. These aliens are kind of freaking me out.
Like you just said, no guns, they're children. I mean, that's pretty fair. Like, don't use guns on the children. Well, the guns shouldn't even be pointed at children. Again, they're on bikes. Just stop them. They're not armed. You don't point a gun at someone unless they're armed.
Maybe they're gonna shoot the tires.
But they're bikes. You can't shoot the tires of a bike. Shoot them in the legs. That's the only option you got.
If you shoot the tires when they're midair, would that like flatten the tires and would that affect the midair flight?
I think just the jostling will knock them off the bikes and then they will fall to their deaths or severe injury. So again, I'm saying I can understand the no guns thing.
All right, Spielberg, you point those guns at those fucking children.
Tiki.
This is a cool chase though.
It is.
This is the
I will
worst.
say though, again, another point to them. I think it holds up well enough, but I think just
I
when
love how
they're flying later on, I think it does massage it a little. It does massage it nicely on the 2002 version. Just the flying effects on the way down.
I just love how the car says United States government on
Guys, you know who that guy looks like? The guy that jumped over?
Ooh.
He looks like the guy from Jaws that sacrificed himself.
Oh God.
Oh, maybe that is the guy.
I just think it's funny that the cars say U.S. government on there, like they would actually do that.
Right.
Like, if you didn't have any idea, yep, these cars are U.S.
I like how
government.
this area they're going through here is like undeveloped housing.
Yep.
Yeah, it's awesome. There's people watching them too.
Aw.
I forget if it just happened. I'm sorry, it might have just happened because it was switching between things. But
How have they not caught up to those bikes yet?
no, it hasn't happened yet. It's going to happen when they're the
Why is
final
it-
stretch coming up.
Why are
Here.
they going slower than the bikes?
I love the final stretch coming up here when just everyone then suddenly appears from behind them, then chasing them on foot.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, John Williams' score and there's great editing in this
Spielberg
sequence.
knows how to shoot action. He knows how to shoot chases. This is well established.
Right here.
for
I mean, how terrifying! The guy almost grabbed the kid right off the bike.
sure. Right.
Here's the gunshot coming up.
All right,
folks.
here we go.
Not actually
Here
shot.
we go, Spielberg. Fucking A, Spielberg. Point those guns, Spielberg. Yeah.
Yay!
That's what I'm talking about, Spielberg.
It seems pointless for them to have
Point
guns.
those guns at those goddamn innocent youth. See, they're not pointing the guns. They're not pointing them. They're not aiming
They
them,
were holding-
Dragon.
Why are they even holding guns?
They have them in their hands. They are not aiming them.
Why do they have them at all?
I don't know, but they realize they're clearly not aiming them.
Here's a better
clearly
way.
not
Stop
aiming
motion
them.
here.
Why-
Stop motion here is amazing.
Yeah, stop motion is good. I just think
It looks more like green screen.
No, it's like
Okay.
they're using
Stop
stop motion
motion
puppets
is
for the kids here.
Instead of going in the front of the moon, they're going in front of the sun.
Yeah.
It's one big frickin' sun.
Okay, this is my favorite shot in the movie. Right here, the sunset where they're landing. It's fucking beautiful. Oh, God. I'm sorry. It's like, this movie puts you through hell in that, 10-minute extended low of lows, but this is just the ultimate, release. You know what I mean? This is, cathartic right here.
Oh, yeah.
Well, yeah, you still haven't answered why they need guns.
Yeah,
I
couldn't they
still
just
haven't
pull the
answered it.
cars closer together or something just to
I
stop
don't care
them?
why they need it. I don't care. My point is they're not aiming them.
But why do they have guns?
That's not the point.
That's the point.
There's no reason for them to have guns. I mean, they're stopping children riding bikes.
Let's just clothesline them. Just put the arms out. They're done.
They clearly realize that having guns probably isn't the best solution.
And that's why
They
Spielberg
don't aim the guns.
That's brutal, but they could have used spike strips or anything.
Whatever. Let's talk about the emotion here. Let's talk about the movie.
Yeah.
Ah, yes. So the big
First of
mothership.
all, I love the choice for Spielberg to have the red jacket with Elliot because it just stands out so much and it makes for
Yeah, it does.
such an iconic final shot with the red jacket.
Yeah, red jacket, red heart.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Wonder how'd they pull off the hard thing anyway?
Oh, it's
internal
like a
lighting.
Yeah, it's internal lighting.
Aw.
How'd they do the shape here? That's pretty amazing.
Yeah, it looks like a giant egg.
This is after Close Encounters, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, so very much like Spielberg very much had the space mythology on his mind.
And again, I'm so glad that it was just Keyes that came here, not like the rest of his government formed.
Yeah.
For sure.
Again, I think it's like so much. Again, it's like you get some sympathy for Keyes. Like he just wanted to see this guy and see him live and just see him up close, and he
Gertie,
got his wish. And Gertie's goodbye here.
Gertie giving him the plant.
Oh, it's so adorable.
Gertie's giving him the flowers.
No, seriously, the child acting in this movie is just amazing.
Be good. Be good.
Yeah, she taught him that all.
And a little kiss.
And I love this kind of. I love the little E.T. where he coils back for a moment. But then, he relents and he gives out the most sincere, genuine thank you here. It's really nice.
Right.
And
Right.
That's sweet.
I love how he raises his neck to see Michael.
Yeah. Thank you. Oh.
Actually, like you guys are right earlier, they could have easily made Michael into like the dumb asshole brother.
Totally.
Yes.
Totally. And they don't do that at all. They absolutely subvert.
They could have made him Chet from Weird Science if they really wanted to. Thankfully, they didn't.
That's a really good example, Dragon.
And now it's the Elliot goodbye.
Oh, God. Someone pass the inside out dishes.
Oh, that shot's amazing.
Oh, William Score's doing it for me.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to watch this scene and not get wrapped up in it. It really is.
Oh, that's beautiful.
The dramatic lighting, the spotlight in the background.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, the red really is really bold and nice.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. It was a really good choice on Spielberg's part. I'm pretty sure that's the first time we see that red in the whole movie on him. But it's,
I think
it's
so.
a really good costume.
If you really want to read into it, I mean, the red might symbolize kind of like, again, when he cut his finger, it's kind of like, being in a broken state, like with the whole divorce and everything. Again, E.T., it's what it's all about. It's kind of this kid in a vulnerable place, and this alien came to him at just the right time, and it's strengthened him. The point is that red vulnerability is kind of reminded in E.T. Now it's gone from vulnerable to kind of love. The love and passion,
Oh, the best shot there.
No,
Gertie. Aw.
yeah.
Alright, you ready for the line? I'm not. Oh, here we go. Oh, God.
Sorry, folks, we're all choked up in it right now.
I know, it's true.
I mean,
It's true.
I'm not there yet. It's almost here. I like how they build up to it.
Uh-huh. Finger glow.
Be right here. In your arteries.
Would you?
No,
Jacob, come on.
in your heart. In your heart.
No matter what they say, I'll be in your heart. Always.
I know.
Forever.
Yep, and again, I like that he doesn't
stop
come
your
up to
crying, it'll be all right. Just take my hand, hold it tight.
Oh, would you stop? I do. Oh, look at this again. Mother and Keys get the look upon him too. I love that he doesn't come back and
become a couple. I'd like to think Mom and Keys become a couple.
let's not read too much into it.
I'd like to think so.
Yeah, I always thought that when I first saw that, I thought they did.
And Elliot has a cool like UFO like expert dad. Yeah.
And even the dog wanted to go.
I love that. I love that E.T. didn't come back empty-handed, so he's not going to get yelled at by his buddies. He's just he brought back the plant specimen. But also, I do like the dog kind of symbolized, boy and his dog story. But it's back from the extraordinary dog and the boy and his alien story. Now it's a boy and his dog story, but again, still memories of the alien.
Totally.
Let me tell you an amazing thing,
Great
here, guys.
shot. Oh, I'm sorry, not quite yet.
I still have no idea how this movie
I
lost
love
to.
how it just slowly closes on the heart.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, I still have no idea how this lost to Gandhi.
What?
It lost to Gandhi at the Best Picture in the Academy Awards.
But Jacob, we have VHS, so we can watch Gandhi whenever we want.
Yeah, but it lost to
I'm
Gandhi.
sorry, that's a Siskel and Ebert reference.
There's that rainbow.
Yep.
Oh, how triumphant. But let me tell you this, folks. The reason it ends at this point, this perfect point, this emotional high point, was so effective that they kind of got rid of their epilogue scene because it was just so ineffective an ending.
Uh-huh.
Their epilogue scene was, sorry, I'm just caught up in the moment right now.
No, yeah, let's wait until the credits here because, oh god, that last shot of Elliot, that last shot, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, the original ending of this movie was, sorry, William Score's really good. Anyway,
Yeah.
the reason it Again, there is the original ending was that Elliot was welcomed to the D&D game, to the Dungeons and Dragons game, and he was welcomed by Michael and his pals, and they were panning out, and you see on the roof was the communication device, implying that he could still communicate or bring back ET if he wanted to.
Okay, well, I'm glad they don't have that
Yeah.
because I think the magic of the movie is that E.T. was in Elliot's life for a very short amount
Exactly.
of time. It made a huge impact.
He didn't overstay his welcome, and in line with that, Spielberg he always said he'd never dream of doing an ET2 because he didn't want to. He knows he'd never be able to do anything better than the original.
Sure.
Yeah, there little fun fact here. There was actually
There's a ride. Like the ride is basically much in the same way that
That's the only 2 we need. That's fine.
Right.
here, it's a little fun fact here. There's actually supposed to be like an ET sequel, like a novel or something.
Yeah, there is. You're right.
No, I think they may.
Also, there's a Game Boy game that takes place on the E.T. planet.
I think
Robot
there's
Chicken's so many ET gags, so like what happens after he gets on the ship. Some of them are mean-spirited, some of them are just...
Right.
The one I mean is that the mean-spirited one that was like really dark, where people like come back and like murder a bunch of people.
Well, also there's like one where it's like they're a bunch of jocks, like ET, like he's a messed up version of the irregular ET homeworld alien. Like they're all big jocks with like 10 glowing fingers instead of one.
Yeah, like Robot Chicken.
Yeah, robot. That's what I'm talking about. It's like a robot chicken version.
Yeah. And then they dump him on the alien planet.
Yeah, that's the thing. As far as I'm concerned, the ride's the only sequel we need. It's
Yeah.
Well, it's better than the Atari game, that's for sure.
Yeah. So, can we talk about the Atari game real quick while the credits are going?
this long without bringing that up, actually.
But seriously, the commercial for that game was amazing, though. The commercial was like so it had the emotions of the movie because it was capitalizing on just kind of like freshly coming out of that movie of just E.T. in a Santa suit just dropping off the game, and that was why it was such a big. Because the movie, in addition to the movie being a success, it was like, oh my god, E.T. promoting this game is a huge thing.
Like, E.T. will physically deliver this fucking game to your doorstep if
For
you buy
Christmas, in a Santa suit. It was the big Christmas item of that year, and it was very disappointing to people. And again, now, folks, let me tell you this. It's on Netflix currently. It's on, last time I checked, it was on Showtime as well. But regardless, seek it out. It's a very interesting documentary. It's called Atari, you guys remind me, is it Atari Game Over, or is it E.T. Atari Game Over?
I've not seen it, so I wouldn't know.
What is it? It's on Netflix. It's like I believe it's Atari Game Over. It's about the old Atari legend that after the ET game, it was buried.
Completely true. That's not a legend. That is 1,000% true. They dug it up.
Well, thanks for giving that away.
Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. I'm sorry.
Well, the point is, it's a little more complex than that. But the point is, it's about the legend of the Atari, of the Atari ET game being so infamously bad. Thanks to the Angry Video Game Nerd.
The only factual account of the Atari game that I care about is the Angry Video Game Nerd movie. Thank you very much.
Which you do get from. But you do have his review definitely go off on too. You have the Angry Video Game Nerd. He does have a little piece in there. Points. It's about how infamous a game that was, how terribly bad it was, and it was so bad.
It crashed the industry.
Yeah, it really examines. Seriously, folks, check it out. It examines if it really kind of ruined the company, and it was so bad. If it was buried underneath the landfill for all these years, what you get to see, what leads you to that journey of them trying to dig it up. But. Yeah, so I also remember, last thing about a sequel, though, I do remember Friesel that has another hilarious E.T. gag where it's like when Spielberg and a whole bunch of other political figures are being abducted in an episode.
I didn't know in politics.
What?
You said Spielberg and a bunch of political figures.
Well, I'm saying it was it was a lot of political figures and celebrities, but basically it was Paul Dean wrote the stories about it's called Nerdator. It's about this guy just abducting the famous, smart, intelligent geniuses so he can try to make himself cooler so he can appeal to women. But then he realizes, oh my god, wait, no, women don't like those smart guys. They want babes.
Pretty much.
But the funny thing is, there's this little gag with Spielberg, and Frank Welker does Spielberg and always gives him a stutter. It's hilarious. He doesn't have a stutter in real life, but
yeah, you're right.
Regardless, though, it's like this hilarious gag where it's called Shooting E.T. 2, and you have Elliot all grown up, and you don't see E.T. We have a little thing saying Elliot as Elliot is trying to get friendly with a girl on the couch. Says, E.T., I've grown up. I don't need you anymore. It's dark, but it's pretty funny. And like Spielberg's like calling me.
Is that in the Freakazoid episode?
It's on Freakazoid episode. Yes, it's hysterical.
It's weird. It's weird that Spielberg never voiced himself, yet he was deeply involved in the production of those.
No,
shows.
that's because he voiced himself once on Animaniacs. Or points he did voice
Actually,
himself once.
Those Tiny Toons, not Animaniacs.
No,
The Hawaiian Vacation one.
Yeah, he never voiced himself because he's very self-conscious about how he sounds.
Right. All right, guys, let's go round table really quick. Get some final thoughts. Jacob, you want to start?
Okay, I was expecting you guys to go. I'll go.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
Well, that was really the second time I ever watched the movie, and obviously it doesn't have as much impact because I muted it. It didn't have as much impact as it would with sound, but I still heard a little bit of it and all that.
I had the Williams score playing in the background. I couldn't hear any of the dialogue or anything.
Yeah, me neither. That's why I had subtitles.
Right.
But I have to say it's a very, very effective movie. It's definitely one that would definitely be that's definitely timeless. It's like you can watch it and it's like it definitely reeks of the 80s, but it doesn't really hold it back too much. It's a very timeless. It can be watched anytime, be enjoyed. It's a nearly perfect movie.
Oh yeah.
Nearly perfect. There are some issues to it.
Well, what's the issue?
Now, sometimes some things can drag on a bit long. I mean, sometimes the scenes are they're just some scenes that aren't convincing and all that. I don't know.
No, I mean, it's fair. I'm just saying we didn't bring up during the commentaries this morning what they were.
I mean, there's some parts of it that drag on a little bit too long.
Or effects that don't work as they should.
That's okay.
I mean, nearly perfect. Like, and the plot can be a little bit predictable at times, even though it is a good one.
It does subvert some expectations. Again, you expect going in certain directions. It does subvert that, and I do have to give it a lot of points for that.
But at times it can be a bit predictable, like it's gonna happen because E.T. is gonna survive and all that.
Well, I mean, in the first few you don't know he's gonna survive. You can just call it E.T. and Extraterrestrial. I don't know. That one's a little fair.
All right, well, I'll give you that.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I mean, I don't mean to step on your point. You had raised an excellent point, though.
Okay.
I mean, but other than that, I mean, the complaints really don't hold it back at all. I mean, it's still an excellent movie and probably one of the highest points of Spielberg's career.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Hey, Sandy.
Man, this movie has never made me cry, and it hasn't during the commentary either. But it's just so emotional, like internally emotional. It's just amazing. Spielberg this is why I love Spielberg, because he can just do all these amazing things, and this is also a great example of all the efforts of all these people, from like costumes and like what was the guy who actually created the E.T.?
That was it was Carlo Ramboldi.
Yeah, just like people like him who are all these collaborative efforts just make this amazing movie, and then Spielberg just pulled it all together and just made it work so well. It's truly like a phenomenal.
Yeah.
That's one of the reasons why I love Spielberg, because he can just do so much.
Okay, Dragon. Final thoughts.
I think this film is a testament to kind of Spielberg's kind of reinventing the wheel of cinema yet again. I mean, again, this was his kind of stab at. Again, he wasn't expecting like a big box office return on this movie. He just wanted to do kind of a really personal movie to him. And again, whether that was going to be perceived as just kind of a Disney attempt or not. Again, don't get me wrong, Disney attempt in the best of ways is what it turned out to be. But again, it was really. I keep bringing up Brad Bird throughout this thing because it's in the vein of being it's a really good movie that, as Spielberg put it, and I think very accurately, as Brad Bird likes to do with his movies a lot, he played it to kids, like a movie that kids would like. It's not just a movie like it's for kids. No, it's like kids and parents would love this, and they'd be able to relate to it. They put themselves in the mindset that's them in the thing. It's such an immersive experience, and it's again, it's a testament to good cinema. It hit all the right notes. Again, I mean, years later watching it, it holds up. But I mean, out of all the Spielberg films, it's still not in the top of my personal thing. But I cannot, at any stretch, say it's not it's not as impactful. It's not deserving of all the hype it gets. Again, it's a testament to great character work, great performances, great direction, all of that, all really excellent stuff. It holds up tremendously well, I think.
It's not among my top Spielberg's either.
Yeah, but you're only wrong. It's by all means, it's deserving being like, if there's like a top 100 films. I don't mean this. When I say 100, I just mean because there's a lot of other Spielberg films will probably be on this list, and a lot of other films. I'm saying the top 100 films list. Don't get me wrong. It's like in the top 30 spot somewhere.
It definitely deserves all the praise it gets.
Absolutely. I mean, it does read very much like an Oscar winner. I'll give you that. It's an Oscar contender, most definitely. But again, I think out of Spielberg's film, this is like one of the I would argue like there are 5 films that really define Spielberg's career, and you had Jaws, which proved his merit as a filmmaker. He had this one that just kind of like him kind of redefining sci-fi for a generation. That it was sci-fi without being just kind of science fiction, but it was like being a real at its core a good movie, good family movie, just a good movie all around. With like it was a feel-good movie. You have Jurassic Park, which you're right, it's it's showing that he can reinvent the summer blockbuster over and over again and make it interesting, make it kind of bigger than it was before. And you have films like Raiders of the Lost Ark in a similar vein, like his stab at kind of doing a Star Wars type film, but in a different way.
We're not talking about Raiders of the Lost Ark or Indiana Jones, by the way, because we're saving that for another event. Just kind of putting that out there.
And the last one I would rank on this list. We're not doing because it's a little too long, but don't rule anything out, folks. We'll see in the future. We have the Schindler's List, of course, is showing that he can do anything. He can take the darkest subject and make it such a compelling drama. The point is, this is a huge milestone in Spielberg's career, and I do think it lives up to the hype. And again, I think it's a very well-made movie.
All right, my final thought is, I think this movie is just kind of a textbook for good filmmaking in a lot of ways. It's definitely it's got the 3-act structure going for it. Like I said, it's got a lot of emotion to it. It's got one of the most classic John Williams scores that you have. Just a lot of good stuff. There's still a couple things here and there that are a bit off-putting to me. It's not in the same vein to me as something like Jurassic Park or Jaws. It's a little bit of a step below. Having said that, for an effort for a kids' movie to be this dark and this gripping and this emotional, it's like, yeah, I agree with Dragon. It might not be my personal favorite thing in the world, but it deserves all the praise it gets nonetheless. So, all right. So next time on Spielberg Month, we're going to be tackling Tom Hanks and Leo DiCaprio and Catch Me If We Can. Catch Me If We Can. Catch Me If You Can. Oh, God, I'm sorry. That's going to be right around Father's Day, right, Dragon? Because it's got a good Father's Day message to it.
Yes, it does.
Okay.
And again, this one is also going to piggyback off some themes of divorce we got in this film. It's going to be very much centered on that. It's going to be, I believe, another stab at kind of. I want to say it's Spielberg's. The way it sells, it's Spielberg's stab at a biopic.
And I also very much feel like it's Spielberg's stab at doing a Martin Scorsese movie. You guys get any sort of that?
I kind of see that, T. We'll get into that during the thing, so we'll see about that one.
I mean, granted, I haven't watched it in years, but just thinking about it, it feels more like a Martin Scorsese movie to me. Anyways.
What about Minority Report? We could do that.
Well,
we have it all lined up for
I know, but that's one you could do in the future.
Yeah, that definitely sounds like
report. But,
certainly, it sounds interesting. Yes.
All right. Well, folks, that's a wrap for now, and it's time to ride our flying bikes out of here. At least until we give you more Spielberg commentaries to sink your teeth into.
Tiki.
What?
I have one thing to say after you're done here.
Catch you next time. What?
Yeah?
I'll be right here.
Okay, fair enough. And I also have something to play if you guys want to mute your mics really quick. Can you do that? Mute your mics.
What?
Mute your mics.
Mute your mic.
Okay.
All right. Okay. You asked for it. You got it.
Top of the morning to you, freakazoid! Hey, what are you doing? I'm fulfilling your request. I'm mowing your lawn. While the Lobes attacking everybody? Go get him already! What are you, wacko?
No, I'm wacko. Baton Rouge, Louisiana, Indianapolis, Indiana, and Columbus is the capital of Ohio.
Hey, Wacko, what are you doing? We're kind of in the middle of something here.
Oh, it's okay. Steven loves it when we do stuff like this. After all, Animaniacs is his favorite.
Sorry to break this to you, Wacko, but if I'm not mistaken, Freakazoid is Steven's favorite show. We got a memo.
I believe you're both mistaken. It is the sophisticated wit and charm of Pinky and the Brain that has captured Steven's heart, as well as making it the breakaway hit of the WB schedule.
Well, why don't we just go find out? You know, Brain, I'm getting just a little sick out of your show right. Even like our show. We'll find out right now. What?
Now, what's this about?
First of all, Steven, thank you very much for taking the time to meet with us. We realize you're very busy, and...
Oh, just ask him.
We were just wondering, who's your favorite?
Who are you people?